Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Hard times ahead for consumers. Brace for food increases, so says the CEO of Super Value, and motorists warned to brace for higher gas prices. More reaction to the contract for Kate Smith, the DRA. And in our discussion today, we are talking about Safer Internet Day today. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also in Morning Blend Business, more on the price increases that everyone is warning are coming our way. We'll tell you more about that. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping at the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Super Value's Chief Financial Officer Deborah Simon had warning Bahamians to budget their money and brace for price increases on grocery items. Simon saying the price increases brought on by supply chain issues caused by the COVID pandemic, coupled with the 10% increase in value-added tax on breadbasket items, present a double whammy for some shoppers. According to the CFO, Super Value suppliers have already increased prices 2 and 3 times in some cases, and this is expected to continue. Meanwhile, crude oil prices are trending upwards and are expected to hit new highs since the COVID pandemic, which has prompted at least one gas station owner and operator to warn Bahamians to brace for the worst but expect the best. A barrel of oil in the U.S. closed higher than $91 yesterday, the highest it's been since 2014. The Minister Administration's decision to grant former Disaster Reconstruction Authority Managing Director Catherine Smith a 4-year contract with more than $150,000 in salary and benefits annually was not a good use of taxpayers' dollars in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. That's according to new DRA Executive Chairman Alex Storr. Storr telling the Nassau Guardian, quote, "I would think that based on what has happened, that she would go quietly into the night and not pursue this because the reason why she was put in place was to provide relief to those in Abaco and Grand Bahama. I can say that it hasn't been done. I can assure you and the Bahamian public that the current salaries of executives of the DRA are nowhere near the level of that." Smith going on to say that the top two executives right now are not being paid combined what Smith was making. Storr said the previous administration's decision to grant Smith such a contract was, quote, very disingenuous, given that the Minutes administration was critical of the issuance of similar contracts by the Christie administration. The details of Smith's contract were made public in a writ of summons, which was filed in the Supreme Court in December 2021, as she sues the DRA for more than $408,000 for breach of contract after she was terminated from the role last year. Senate President Jay LaShelle Adderley urging legislators to take immediate action and adopt a zero-tolerance approach to addressing gender-based violence in the country. She said in the Senate yesterday, quote, we all need to try a little harder and move a lot faster. Once again, Senators, this is a clarion call to immediately address the systemic issue of domestic violence and gender-based violence in our country. We need to cultivate a culture of zero-tolerance legislation and policies to combat these issues and create a safer Bahamas, irrespective of race, class, creed, sex, or socioeconomic status. And two men are facing serious charges after they allegedly molested young children. Ephraim Brown of Cool Air Subdivision is accused of raping an 8-year-old girl last month. Brown, a Jamaican, faced 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse when he appeared before Magistrate Shaka Seville. Prosecutors say the incidents happened between January 21st and 23rd and January 28th and 31st. Brown was not required to enter pleas to the charges. Meanwhile, 20-year-old Devin Rigby appeared before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. on 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse. Prosecutors say Rigby molested a 13-year-old in October and November 2021. Rigby was not required to enter a plea to the charges and was denied bail. He returns to court on March 29th. Overseas diplomatic efforts to defuse the tensions around Ukraine continue today, with French President Emmanuel Macron arriving in Kyiv. The day after talks, hours of talks with the Russian leader in Moscow, yielded no apparent breakthroughs. Macron meeting with the Ukrainian president as fears of a possible Russian invasion mount. Moscow has massed over 100,000 troops near Ukraine's borders, but insists that it has no plans to attack Ukraine. The Kremlin has demanded guarantees from the West that NATO will not accept Ukraine and other former Soviet nations as members, and will halt weapons deployments there and roll back its forces from Eastern Europe, demands the U.S. and NATO reject as non-starters. Western leaders in recent weeks have engaged in multiple rounds of diplomacy in the hope of de-escalating the tensions and preventing an attack. High-level talks have been taking place around and against the backdrop of military drills underway in Russia and about to start in Belarus. Today, Russia's defense ministry said 6 large landing ships were moving from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea, where they will take part in the exercises. And a former Costa Rican president taking an early lead in a national election that seems likely to head to a runoff election in April against surprise second-place contender Rodrigo Chavez. Jose Maria Figueres, who was the country's president from 1994 to 1998, had 27.3% of the vote in preliminary results released by the Supreme Elections Tribunal. With 88% of the votes counted, Figueres is the candidate for the National Liberation Party. Figueres is nothing if not well known to voters in Costa Rica. His father was a 3-time president, Jose Figueres Ferrer, probably the country's most important political figure of the last century. The younger Figueres has been questioned over a $900,000 consulting fee he received after his presidency from the telecommunications company Alcatel. While it competed for a contract with the National Electricity Company, he was never charged with any crime and denied any wrongdoing. In sports, after starting their season with an 0-3 win-loss record, Bahamian collegiate tennis player Sydney Clark and the University of Alabama at Birmingham Blazers picking up their third straight victory to even their record at 3-3. They had two matchups over the weekend at home and on the road. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. And giving it a shot in the arm, Fred Starup, in an effort to revitalize the sport of boxing in the country, has been reinstated as the Bahamas Boxing Commission chairman. The National Sports Hall of Famer wasted no time in getting the commission off a start and heading in the right direction as he and his commissioners staged a successful meeting with Youth Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg on Monday. Read more about what they're hoping to accomplish in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, Atlantic high-pressure region continues to support moderate winds and streaming moisture across the country. Meanwhile, a lingering cold front over Florida will move closer to the extreme northwest Bahamas by late tonight. Beachgoers should exercise caution along eastern and southern shorelines due to the risk of rip currents. For all areas today, forecast calls for variably cloudy conditions in the extreme northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with isolated showers today, mostly fair tonight. A small craft caution remains in effect. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times in the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwest and central islands, but 4 to 6 feet over the rest of the Bahamas, the southeastern islands. Temperature-wise, right now we're at about 69 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. We're looking at highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Start the year making all the right money moves. Budgeting and saving? Yes. Investing? Check. But what if you could do more? With a brokerage account, you can get priority access to local investment opportunities right as they come to the market. Never miss a bond or new share offering again. Plus, you can house all your investments in one place and benefit from expert investment advice. Contact us at brokerage@rfgroup.com to start doing more today. Some conditions apply. RF, money at work.
Whenever you want, wherever you are, for all your banking needs, we make it easy. CIBC, First Caribbean, we've got all your banking solutions. CIBC, First Caribbean. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Follow us, like us, get all the information you need about what you hear on the show right there. And you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 4224796. If you're on the Guardian Radio app, you can listen, you can even watch, you can text us all from the app. There are countless ways for you to reach us. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Don? No, not yet? Okay, we're going to get to Don in just a bit, and we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a moment. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. And in our 8 o'clock hour, it is Safer Internet Day, an international day. It's in its 19th year. Wow. And we'll find out more about that and what you need to know. Later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about the big stories in the papers today. Brace yourselves for food price increases. People are going to say, what? Again? Hasn't it happened already? Well, more to come. And there's more about gas prices as well. So a lot we're going to break down in Morning Blend Business this morning. So a lot to get to. Let's begin, though, with what's in the news. And Don is with us now. Good morning, Don Sargent.
Morning, Dwight.
Great to have you with us as always. Hope all is well.
Yes, it's always great to be alive.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Hey, in the news, it's here, the new Grand Bahama News section of the Nassau Guardian. In every Tuesday, the first edition in today, and there's news from the island. And, you definitely want to pick up a copy of that and read all about it every Tuesday, beginning today. Grand Bahama News in the Nassau Guardian. Excited about that. Great stuff. All right. Also in the news, like we said, later in Morning Blend Business, we'll talk more about this, the price increases and bracing yourselves for this. People have been warning about that for a while. The inflation sky high in the U.S., and it's trickling down. We've been seeing that since the end of last year, and we've been warned that more of this is coming, and so it's even going to get higher. On top of the VAT increases on the breadbasket items. So it's going to be interesting. So that's coming up. But the other story, yesterday we were all talking about it, the DRA case suing for her money owed on her contract, and more reaction coming into this. Our Jasper Ward writing about it today. Under the headline, Smith's contract was not a good use of tax dollars, going to the DRA chair. So, the Minutes administration's decision to grant former Disaster Reconstruction Authority Managing Director Catherine Forbes Smith a 4-year contract with more than $150,000 in salary and benefits annually was not a good use of taxpayers' dollars in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, according to DRA Executive Chairman Alex Storr. Storr telling the Nassau Guardian yesterday, quote, "I would think that based on what has happened, that she would go quietly into the night and not pursue this action because the reason why she was put in place was to provide relief to those in Abaco and Grand Bahama. I can say that it hasn't been done. I can assure you and the Bahamian public that the current salaries of executives at the DRA are nowhere near the level of that. The top two right now are not being paid combined with what she was making." Storr says the previous administration's decision to grant Smith such a contract was very disingenuous, given that the Minutes administration was critical of the issuance of similar contracts by the Christie administration. Of course, the details of Smith's contract were made public in a writ of summons, which was filed in the Supreme Court in December 2021, as she sues the DRA for $408,333.16 for breach of contract after she was terminated from the role last year. Under the terms of that contract, the DRA agreed to pay Smith an annual salary of $110,000 in monthly installments of $9,166.66 and an annual housing allowance of $30,000 in monthly installments of $2,500. It also agreed to an annual duty allowance of $15,000 in monthly installments of $1,250 and a monthly fuel allowance of $250. At the end of that contract, Smith was entitled to receive a gratuity of 15% of the sum received under the contract. Smith resigned as Senate President and was subsequently appointed Director of the DRA in December 2019. The DRA was tasked with managing recovery and reconstruction on Abaco and Grand Bahama after Dorian devastated portions of the island. Now, Storr suggested that not much was accomplished. He said, quote, "The board just paid a visit to Abaco last week to get a better idea on the ground of what was going on. We were sorely disappointed with what we found. We're now undergoing some necessary changes to make sure that the DRA is better able to execute what needs to be done on Abaco. We go to Grand Bahama this week to see what's going on there, but so far I'm sorely disappointed with what has been done. We're trying to get everything back into shape and to get the organization operating properly and executing the projects that we have in progress to make sure that they are properly completed." Storr says that he's read the previous DRA board's minutes and has also seen some discussion and decisions that it made. He said those do not align with what was done by the project managers. He said, quote, "I can see a wide range of mismanagement on just about every project that the DRA was involved in on Abaco for sure. It is what it is, and we just need to get those things in shape and make sure that what we are supposed to be doing is done, especially when we are spending the money of taxpayers and donations as well." Now, when reached for comment, John Michael Clark, who was the chairman of the DRA under the previous administration, said, quote, "If that is the findings, I would hope that whatever they have determined was mismanaged, that they can improve." He said, to the best of his knowledge, the previous executives and board worked diligently with the resources given. He said, quote, "Admittedly, sometimes things weren't ideal, and it's no secret that we weren't able to achieve some of the things that we set out in our strategy and our goals, but no Bahamian in a disaster situation, at least no Bahamian I've encountered, given the opportunity to contribute to the country in a disaster situation, nobody was intentionally negligent, and that's important that that be said." Now, Storr says an audit of the DRA is underway and that an internal investigation is also being done by the board. All right, so all that's happened. Former Prime Minister Dr. Bruce Minnis, who's also speaking, he says that he does not recall the details of the former Disaster Reconstruction Authority Managing Director's employment contract and said that if the Davis administration feels that taxpayers are not being fairly treated, it has the right to defend itself. What? Minnis saying to the Nassau Guardian, quote, "I have not seen the contract. I cannot remember the contract, to be honest with you. If the government feels any irregularity, the government has a right to proceed and defend themselves." When asked if he was aware at the time of the level of compensation Smith was receiving, Minnis responded, quote, "I cannot recall." He also defended the work of the authority under Smith's management. He said, quote, "People must remember that the entire infrastructure in terms of electrification was destroyed. In terms of Abaco, we had to spend $61 million replacing over 4,000 poles. We had to repair water lines. We had to remove tons and tons of debris in cleaning up. Then we had to bring in temporary facilities. 4,000 Bahamians who had registered for assistance, the record would reflect that 3,735 were approved for assistance. It would also reflect that 2,645 were already receiving assistance, so the records are there for the former government to review." Okay. Sounds like all the more reason that someone shouldn't be making as much money as they were making, seeing as all of those things were needed. Okay, that's just me saying that part there. More from Minnis. He says, in defending Smith's contract, he said he cited the case of Melissa Hall and the Bridge Authority, in which Hall, who was the former general manager of the authority, sued the government for $593,071.72 after she was terminated months after the 2017 general election. Her contract contained a clause that said that could only be terminated with a minimum of 3 years' notice. Oh my goodness. What? What now? What? This is a typo. A what?
Wow, it's almost like deja vu. It's permanent Groundhog Day in the Bahamas.
So what? This was done in spite then because of
No, but it's
3-year
wrong
contract.
when the other guy
Well,
doesn't
only
quit.
you could terminate it now since she gotta have a 3-year contract. 3 years? Oh dear Lord. Okay.
How do we, Dwight, we work in the wrong industry. How do we go about getting a gangster contract like that?
Are you sure you want one of those?
Yes, boy. And
I
then
mean,
they
when
fire
the-
you, get to sue the government, paid on the whole thing?
But then they put out all the laundry out everywhere for everyone to see, and they say, "But you didn't do a
Yeah,
thing."
and then they just get a contract when the government gets back in again. So what's your point?
3 years? I mean, who would want to be around? I leaving soon. 2.5 more years. So you can't tell me what to do. Okay. Anyway, but he went.
Shouldn't there be some law against this? I mean, I know there isn't one, and they're never going to create one either. They just can talk, and run a pod mode.
No, they
Every
can do
time
it.
a new administration gets in. But
Absolutely. We talked about it yesterday. There needs to be legislation to stop this nonsense.
yeah, there should be something against this.
Yeah.
Because this happens at I've like 20 years now that I can recall. I'm sure it's been happening longer than that. But I recall several names being called when the FNM won the last election, several names being called when Christie won the last election before that. So I'm honestly exhausted from this because it's like it's a train, just like I talked about the stadium last week, right? And it's just the train of tomfoolery that just never seems to cease.
Well, so this is what Minnis is saying. He says, well, yeah, you see that case? He says, and so, quote, just as we did the case with Melissa Hall and won, if the government feels that the taxpayers are not being fairly treated, then they have a right to proceed.
Yeah, but there have been cases of persons, even some who call into the show, who, government fired supposedly unjustly,
Yes.
and then they sued the government and they won their
And they
case.
won, yeah.
Whether it be $70,000, $100,000, almost $200,000. Like, I mean, I get that Minnis is picking out that one case that may be especially egregious, but there are lots of cases, and it's like right after months, they're scattered all throughout the newspapers of persons who are taking the government to court for whatever reason. I think I just saw 2 last week, for various reasons, especially on social media. So I don't know if it is the majority of the time when government makes terminations such as this, that government wins the case in court, because I know of lots of cases where government loses on a consistent basis, and it just costs us more money. And I'm not just speaking specifically to contracts given by a particular ministry. You have these things happening in water and sewage, you have these things sometimes happening at BPL. So it's a wide variety, it's a gambit of places this happens at. And I always have to ask the question, it's like, if we know from successive administrations what happens in these sorts of situations, why aren't we writing our contracts differently or fair to the taxpayer, supposedly? Or at least there should be some law that mandates, like, you can't, like, there should be a range, because it just
Don,
seems
you know
like,
the answer. You know why.
Yeah, I know
Right?
why.
We gotta get stuff for our people. Let them write it and more. And then when they get down, oh, you could sue. If you have a problem, you could sue. Well, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, yes, they can sue, but it seems flippant to me. If you have a problem with that, just go and sue. Yeah, you could challenge it. Yeah, you could take them. Okay. Oh, boy. So, yeah, he goes on to say, the government has a right to defend if they think it's an injustice, just like we did with Melissa Hall. We took that case and we won that case. We did not see it as right to have a contract that was an indefinite contract. And the standard thing is 30 days notice. In this particular case, it was an indefinite contract and a 3-year notice. We did not see that as right, because you could imagine what that would do to the government system. We felt that if the government got away with that now, then next time they might come with an indefinite contract and a 15-year notice. Imagine what that would do to the government structure.
I don't know if statement about 30 days notice being the norm, because I recall when the government changed the last time around in 2017, there was a contract, another 6-figure contract, and And anyway, just leave him alone. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter in this country.
But he's saying that they didn't want that to happen again. But yet you have a contract allegedly where it was only the person who you hired who could terminate the contract. So that's just as bad, isn't it? Only one side can end it?
It's not even word salad, it's word soup. That's what these things are.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I feel like these contracts are like, you ever like cook some pea soup? Split pea soup, Dwight, and like you didn't stir it enough and the bottom of it just burns. And like it looks fine on the top, but then when you get the spoon down there and black stuff start coming up, that's what these situations sound like to me.
Wow. So the article notes that he didn't acknowledge that Smith's contract had a no exit clause. So that's as bad as to me, 3-year notification.
No, but it's only bad when the other guy.
Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say about this, folks. This is crazy. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, the new executive chairman is saying that the DRA didn't do all that it was supposed to do. I don't know. The people in Abaco, we're getting some messages from them now, and Grand Bahama would know better. We do know that we had many stories of them talking about all the debris they're moving and all the work they were doing. Was it enough? I don't know. Apparently, according to these folks, no. But they definitely were doing something. Was it enough to justify that salary for the managing director? That is questionable. Let's hear what you have to say about it. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend.
Mr. Strachan, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, good morning.
You know, Mr. Strachan, I'm asking a question. How come you ain't get hired yet, though? I mean, all the reporters gone. What's going on?
I work for the Nassau Guardian. I work here. I'm in media. That's what I do. I don't do public relations. No. I can't do it.
Mr. Strachan. Mr. Strachan, listen to me. I be respectful. Mr. Strachan, I mean, for life of me, right? Life of me. I campaign every island, everywhere. I've been, Sweden ski, right? Sweden ski or Freeport, right?
Okay.
I've been Sweden ski. You know right now, I remember when the government bought those RVs on those temporary homes, right?
Yeah.
Remember, right?
Okay.
You know right now, they sit right now in Sweden ski, never been used yet. I mean, Mr. Strachan, I mean, like I say, I be respectful, but K. Forbes put it on herself. K. Forbes is the postage child for incompetence. I mean, this woman to do nothing in Abaco, nothing in Freeport, nothing. Mr. Strachan.
I mean, you don't have to get personal with this. If you feel that she wasn't deserving of that amount of money, then yeah, okay.
Mr. Strachan, I ain't personal. I know insult. Mr. Strachan, listen to me, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
This woman, from over 30 years, she was living off taxpayers' money.
Okay, that sounds personal. Am I wrong? Okay. Yeah, you have a problem with that, Dave. Sure. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I listened to the show from yesterday, okay? And I need a question. Who does government, consensus government, answers to? When I say that, you understand what I mean by that question?
I think I do.
Okay. Because guess what? This ain't just start happening with these contracts and stuff, okay? And when another government comes in, if the person doesn't resign or decide not to leave, they got dismissed and they end up in this contract that they have to be paid off. Why in God's earth don't they find a way to just stop that?
This is the same thing Dawn was asking, but like I said.
Because I mean...
But you know why.
At the end of the day, right, it's us who's have to pay this money back. And then they wonder why the deficit is be so high.
Do they wonder? They just use it against the other folks.
Because this is it. And this has to stop at some point. You could call this woman every name in the world. At the end of the day, the pay she deserving to hire a lawyer and be paid for what is owed to her.
Well...
I mean, what do you mean?
No? Maybe.
Maybe because it's a contract. Okay? It's unwritten. And when they're doing these stuff, where's the opposition? Why isn't opposition just be included in these conversations? What? One side know, the other side don't know, and then after the next government come in, then this they just knowing or saying this for the first
I
time?
mean, I don't think that is the case. I think they fully well know, and they use it to their advantage when they get in to shame the other people.
So this need to just stop, man, because at the end of the day, it's us who's be so more upset because it continue and continue, and only for the persons up there, the small man, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Small contracts, nothing. You're out, you finish.
Yeah.
And these big, at some point, we need to stop it. We really, really need a rematch again in this country. I don't know that up. We really need independent thinkers to stand up for persons like myself, perhaps you and your guests, but we need to stop this in this country for our grandchildren and great-grand. We're coming up in this country. Someone needs to stop it. They can't come in this country and allow to go through what person like me, yourself, and others are going through. We have to stop this at some point. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Will it happen? Will it happen?
Sure, it's a good point, though, Dwight. And it kind of made me think about something, right? I wonder, I know we're never going to get this figure in actuality, but I wonder how much we pay out in six-figure pensions and sweetheart contracts like these. Is it like the $210 million, $20 million? We'll never know.
You don't want to know that.
Never know, Dwight.
That'll hurt your head. You don't want to know. But let's take another call. Good morning, caller on the air.
Yes, good morning, Ben. I trust you all are doing well.
We are trying.
I had a manager some time ago, a very, very long time ago, who said to me, and I couldn't believe him, but now I'm beginning to. He said, do you know that piracy is alive and well in the Bahamas?
Why didn't you believe him?
Well, because I was hoping for the best.
Oh.
Well,
some will say that it's very good. Some will say it's very good.
Yeah, it seems to be profitable. And in fact, I was almost enticed to join them, but because I was brought up differently, I don't know how these people could go to church on Sundays. But now I'm beginning to realize that the more churches we have, the more crime we seem to have as well. So there's a correlation.
Can't support that.
To me.
Cannot support that statement.
But let's not digress.
Right.
Because I won't do that, and I won't call names. But I'm wondering, and I'm seeing now why we have the lending agencies like Moody's and those coming down on us because of how we mismanage our funds. And then on top of that, you have a former prime minister, see, I don't call names like some of your callers do, who would say, what is this? What are they drinking? And you have a caller that calls in regularly and say, until this Moses crew is evaporated from the face of the Bahamas, ain't nothing going to change. And I'm beginning to believe him because the cycle is even continuing with the current administration if you're looking at what they're doing. So are we doomed, or are we going to eventually succeed in the Bahamas?
It's scary. It's very scary.
I don't know. What you think? Are we going to eventually rise, or are we going to just continue to sink?
Nope. I think this is this boat. This ain't only objective there seems to be is to plug some of the holes in the boat and just roll around a little longer. But I don't see any reform on the horizon. So we can expect this in perpetuity.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot. And they're plugging the holes with tissue, Don. They're plugging the holes with tissue. Yes, of course.
The tissues only last for 3 years before it hit the fan, and then they get voted out, and then... Well, no, sorry. The people turn against them first, which seems to always happen, but 3 years in. And then they get voted out. Then the next crew get it. It's like, we'll fix the ship. And then they plug the towel first, and then they get the downy. They spend a little bit of money on that. Just get the downy and plug it up until 3 years for them, and then it hit the fan again. And then, it's a cycle. Like I say, it's the train that just run around the track a little bit, like, the thing go.
Yeah. Got a lot of calls coming in. Let's take these and a lot of your messages as well. We'll get to those in a second, but let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight and Don.
Hi.
Hey, man, you guys have ever wondered that we don't never have no government. There's no government existing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
What do you mean by that?
Because the actual government is called Her Majesty's government, right? And the actual opposition is called Her Majesty's opposition. I don't see Bahamas nowhere in that listing, right? So to me, right, we keep hiring managers status quo in place, but these people aren't they are not governments, and they are not governing anything. All they are doing is managing the status quo, right? Because when we can really and truly have a Bahamian government, right, that gives their allegiance to the Bahamas, man, because until that day comes, the Bahamas will continue down this. Because, see, I believe these Her Majesty's government and Her Majesty's opposition, they find a next way to infiltrate Her Majesty's purse.
Okay.
That's why they ain't trying to change nothing right and done. They ain't interested in changing absolutely nothing, no time. And who keep getting gypped? Or wouldn't even say that, right? Because we volunteer to put these same people back over and over, thinking that we can get a different result. But people, it is Her Majesty's government, his opposition. We can't win with that type of cycle, because once Her Majesty's government lost, she puts another government to her. So we can never really get past this, guys. Guys, have a nice day.
That's scary. Thank you very much. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight, doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Just like to make a very quick comment on something that JJ always says, and your previous caller alluded to it, and that would be that the Moses crew need to die out. I'm of the belief that there are many of the Moses crew who basically, we're not into corruption. We want to see what is best for this country. We need part of the Moses crew and the Joshua crew to come together, but they have to be very serious about how we're going to move this country forward. And it's so unfortunate that those in the Moses crew who are already wealthy, who already have it all, who already living better than many of us, still managing to benefit from the systems, when many of us who are off the Moses crew struggling here to try and get some of this gravy, but the right to really live comfortably in this country. And until we, as a people, change our mindsets and recognize that the ones who we glorify are already set, while we are here glorifying them and we're not getting set, then it means that we will continue to have this problem. So it's up to us to fix it. My final comment, Dwight, very quickly here, is that it's very interesting, the commentary that the opposition claims not to know anything about this. When I say opposition, the ones who were questioned obviously didn't know anything about this salary that K. Forbes Smith, and I'm going to call the name deliberately, was receiving. How could you sit in the parliament and these things are known to you? I mean, it is very baffling when the opposition always claims that they don't know what the governing party is doing. So we as a people, we need to get very serious and keep both sides. We got to keep their feet to the fire because we've been bamboozled for quite too long. Thanks for taking my call, Dwight.
Okay, thank you very much. One final text messages. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend. Are you there? I hear something. No?
Hello?
There you go. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning, Dwight?
Doing well.
Is that Dawn?
Yes, it is.
Yes, good morning. Yes. Did the former Prime Minister say he don't recall?
He did.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. A contract of that magnitude doesn't go to the Prime Minister's office?
You would think.
Listen, Dwight, this lady perks alone is more than some permanent secretary yearly salary. So, I think, to be honest with you, I think the Bahamas now needs a commission inquiry to all this alleged malfeasance, to be honest with you. And so we can actually try to establish the truth on how the taxpayers' money is being spent, and then we need to change some of our laws to put in place where stuff like this won't happen in the near future. Because, come on, man, you remember the NGOs sent Abaco and Freeport for the residents of Abaco and Freeport?
I do.
Where they said all the supplies sat there and most of the materials rotted? You remember that?
I do. Yeah, it's horrible.
So how is it now? You're not you. I mean, she's claiming she won reimbursement for a contract that was broken when it's also a one-sided contract. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we got to be careful with spending the taxpayers' money, and it's not benefiting the Bahamian people; it's just benefiting a few. Have a nice day, man.
Okay, thanks a lot. I want to read this tweet from one of our listeners in Abaco. Living high on the hog whilst the people she was supposed to be serving were living in tents and cars. DRA was awarding a meager $10,000 for a total loss of a house. Apparently no one in Abaco was qualified to run the DRA. Compare $10,000 for someone rebuilding an entire house to her annual housing allowance. In total, the amount Smith is claiming for her own comfort and luxury could have helped over 40 families. Wow. They're going to say that we must address the domes, and he puts in brackets dooms. They're making people sick. Wow, they're too close together. The contractors assembling them have not been paid. Smith visited Abaco several times but maintained a full-time luxury house and car. As a Dorian victim on Abaco with substantial losses and no income, I'm offended a contract like this was awarded and all the suffering going around. I worked full-time in distribution and rebuilding for free. Today, people are living in tents and cars. Still. Wow.
What are I'm just at a loss for words. The contractors who put up the domes weren't paid. I would be lying if it's true. I'd be lying.
Got to verify that.
Surprised. I just thought I died, man. Why can't we just do things right? Well, at least try. Why you don't? It feels. Oh Lord, I have no words. Dwight.
As we go to the break, this person says here, Minutes doesn't recall the details of the contract. That's interesting. I guess he only remembers the things that makes him look good. But he remembers when the PLP did it, but not when he did it. And they ask,
isn't that the most infamous line of Bahamian politics, though? I do not recall. No. That has a long history, doesn't it?
I think all politicians around the world. That's their
go-to. Wasn't there a song about that? I do not recall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was after. Anyway, whatever. Continue.
All right. Someone says, now you see and know that the PLP plan generally will not work for us. We are back to square one. Food prices and more are increasing. Bahamians, you were fooled once again. All the power, greed, money. Well, I think you're jumping. This is a global issue, though. I mean, to say it's because of a political party. This was going to happen no matter who won the election. We'd been warned about this. The pandemic is having other consequences. You know about the shipping issue. We are having major problems globally. Supplies, people are waiting months to get stuff. You hear stories of people going to stores and they don't even have big stores, the big box stores in the States. I saw a story with a restaurant owner couldn't get ketchup for months. So it's a huge problem. Would have happened no matter what. And we have to brace ourselves, as the headline says. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. Another one here. Good morning, all. As egregious as the contract was, it was just as egregious the way government canceled these contracts. I personally don't believe the government is looking out for the best interest of the Bahamian people by canceling the contract either. I think more emphasis was placed on embarrassing the person.
We have a history, though, also, and it's why I don't call names when I talk. Since we've been talking about this, right? We've had someone a few years back when the administration came in. We were essentially throwing stones at someone who got a contract to, I guess, advise the government on cultural matters, right? On different events that we had, and I think that it was at $200,000-something. And the story that was allowed to perpetuate across the waves of the Bahamian land, right, was that this person was pocketing all this money and it didn't take into account like the fact that they had staff and stuff that was being paid out of that. There's a very complex situation that was very oversimplified, right? And sometimes they made offhand remarks about it, which also further disparaged people's characters. I'm not calling any names specifically about any of these events. I'm just saying, we do have a history, unfortunately, of disparaging people and making them out to be greedy hogs and all these sorts of situations. And maybe that is the case from time to time. I don't know. But I'm just going to say these egregious contracts in the first place is like super simple to avoid these circumstances altogether. There should be a standard template the government uses for its contracts. Anything outside of that, I guess, I would say would need cabinet approval or something. But as we've seen in the past, Dwight, a government can come into power questioning or not absolutely just dismantling verbally another administration for not going to cabinet for things. And then the very same person doing that then awards contracts to the PHA to someone over $1 million without going through cabinet approval. So all sorts of foolishness is happening all the time, and there's no consequences for these things.
Yeah.
So,
and I think this texter is, I hear you, texter, but I think you're a little off. If you pay attention to what the top executives don't make anywhere near what Smith was making combined, that's a serious thing. And the tweets from our listener in Abaco, this is crazy that this could be happening while somebody's making all of this. It is,
and it makes you wonder
very,
how many other
odd.
places this is happening.
Oh, okay.
Right? I could think of two off the top of my head that I'd call out, but I'll say that off here to you twice.
Okay. All right, let's take the break. We'll come back with more of your messages and more of what else is making news on this Tuesday morning. This is Morning Blend, Guardian Radio 96.9.
On my own time, over the UE, over the hill, down in the field. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But give me, ring that scream style. Watch it. Ready? Watch it, watch this. Let's go.
Once I had a gal, she caused me pain.
Say what?
Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
And what happened?
There I met a gal, he made a band. Outside in the field, cotton cane. She looked so good, my pressure rise, my lord. When I looked into her big brown eyes, I said, look what you could get when you're tired of what you got. Look what you could get when you're tired of what you got. San Salvador woman, look good and that's a fact. Look what you could get when you meet a gal like that.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. New COVID cases have been dropping in 47 states over the past 2 weeks. Now, 4 states plan to end school mask mandates. The AP's Jackie Quinn's got this.
The decisions in Connecticut, Delaware, New Jersey, and Oregon were announced as state and local governments grapple with which virus restrictions to jettison and which to keep in place. The changes also come amid a growing sense the virus is never going to go away, and Americans need to find a way to coexist with it.
This morning, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is warning allies to get ready. Finish plans for heavy economic sanctions against Russia, he says, in case it invades Ukraine. Today, the French President Emmanuel Macron is in Ukraine to talk to its president. The AP's Mike Gracia has more on efforts to defuse the crisis.
At the White House, Schultz, President Joe Biden again warned Russia's Vladimir Putin.
It would be a gigantic mistake for him to move on Ukraine. The impact on Europe and the rest of the world would be devastating.
In Moscow, Putin met with French President Emmanuel Macron. Putin again denied any intention by Russia of invading Ukraine. Biden said if the Russians invade Ukraine, the Nord Stream 2 Russia to Germany gas pipeline will be blocked. Mike Gracia, Washington.
At the Winter Olympics in Beijing, San Francisco native Eileen Gu won the gold medal in free ski big air while representing China. They power everything from our cars to game consoles, microchips. This morning, the European Union is announcing it plans to become a major microchip producer. This is a $48 billion plan. The EU is trying to limit its dependency on Asian markets for the microchips. This is AP News. California is bringing back paid sick leave for COVID cases. The AP's Jennifer King has this.
At the start of the pandemic, state and federal laws required most employers to give workers paid time off for the coronavirus. But as more people got vaccinated and case numbers declined, many of those laws expired. Now California lawmakers have passed a COVID bill requiring companies with 26 employees or more to give workers up to 2 weeks of paid sick leave if they come down with the coronavirus or are caring for a family member. Governor Gavin Newsom is expected to sign. The law will expire at the end of September, but it's retroactive to January 1st, which is good news for many workers that lost income after getting caught in the recent Omicron surge. Many Republicans voted against the proposal because of how much it would cost business owners who are already struggling. To sweeten the pot, the new bill included an early business tax rollback and will let businesses deduct federal coronavirus grants from their state tax obligations. I'm Jennifer King.
The Dow gained 1 point yesterday. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
7:39, time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening in real-time traffic. Milo Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic and well south of the Fire Trail roundabout right now in the northbound lanes up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, backed up along Fire Trail as well, eastbound to that roundabout. And Tawny Williams Darling Highway also backed up westbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. That's a congested area that if you can, you might want to avoid. However, your alternate routes are also busy this morning, including Gladstone Road, the heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes to JFK Drive, and Blue Hill Road, building traffic there, especially south of St. Vincent Road, all the way up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. You'll see that heavy traffic there. We've got building traffic on Carmichael Road, especially eastbound to Blue Hill Road, and building westbound to Coral Harbor Road at this hour. Elsewhere, East Street, especially between Soldier and the East-West Highway Independence Drive roundabout, mainly in the northbound lanes, and then the East Street route busy. East-West Highway, Robinson Road, and Marathon Road intersection busy there, as well as Prince Charles Drive and Fox Hill Road. Those are your hot spots for now. We'll have another real-time report for you coming up after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, Banking Reimagined. And it's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got Atlantic high-pressure ridging continuing to support moderate winds and streaming moisture across the country. Meanwhile, a lingering cold front over Florida will move closer to the extreme northwest Bahamas by late tonight. Beachgoers should exercise caution along eastern and southern shorelines due to the risk of rip currents today. For all areas, your forecast calls for variably cloudy conditions in the extreme northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with isolated showers. Elsewhere, mostly fair tonight. A small craft caution remains in effect. So look for highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front lingering near the extreme northwest Bahamas will drift into the northern and central Bahamas by Wednesday through Thursday. That's going to mean on Wednesday, variably cloudy, breezy conditions with isolated to widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. By Thursday, mostly cloudy with isolated showers and possible thunderstorms over portions of the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I have to take a business trip, and I want John to keep things running while I'm away. How can I ensure he keeps within budget? Maybe I need to get him a camera to record everything he does 24/7. Maybe not. Instead, get RBC Credit Share, the RBC credit card feature that allows you to easily and safely share funds with employees for free. And you set the spending limit, so you're always in control. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/credit share. Special conditions apply.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our client. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 for Freeport.
There's only one way to have a better morning. Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Good day, Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. How may I help you today?
Hey, listen, I just had with you all, man.
Yes, sir. How may I help you, sir?
I hear you're giving out free things. And as a mom with 12 children, I love free things.
Well, yes, sir. If you're ordering with Airborne Freight and Cargo Services for the first time, we will be giving you prizes just for shipping with us.
Hold on, wait. What are y'all giving out, sir?
Well, we're giving away gas vouchers, coupons from various outlets, up to 20% off your shipping fee, and so much more.
Could y'all please stop slamming my door? None of y'all pay no bills inside here. Sorry about that, Mom. Hey, y'all will ship double shoulders cause this woman expecting twins again, Dread.
Airborne is get rewarded for being a new customer on top of our already low rates. Call us at 377-0450 or visit us on Facebook at Ship Airborne for more information.
Whenever you want, wherever you are, for all your banking needs, we make it easy. CIBC, First Caribbean, we've got all your banking solutions. CIBC, First Caribbean. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Speed doesn't come easy. It takes your investment in your goals, your time, your full effort, full dedication. And when you think you've done enough, do it again. It takes precision, not just doing it, but doing it as best as possible. Day in, day out. And just like BTC, I will stop at nothing to make the people of the Bahamas stand up and cheer. That's what fuels me and why I'm a proud ambassador of BTC. Because we share a common desire to elevate your internet experience so you elevate everything you do with it and make it the best it can be. See super fast internet and elevate what's next.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good feeling, oh yeah. We chillin', oh yeah. All day, all night. Rum sippin', oh yeah. Boogie rollin', oh yeah. Drinks flowing, oh yeah. Meet new friends on the road, everybody glowing. Hey! Yeah, we know the sun is hot, but a little sun ain't gonna make me stop. We go wine and drink, drop is hot when the bassline drop. Now we say, time to replay. Show your leg in the air, drop.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent on this Tuesday morning. We're talking about what's in the news, getting a reaction to the reaction from the lawsuit that K. Smith has filed against the DRA and what folks are saying about it. The current DRA executive chairman saying that this money was not a good use of taxpayer dollars. Former Prime Minister Mena says he doesn't recall the contract but points to some other wacky contracts that have been agreed to in the past and how if the government has a problem, we'll fight it in court. Okay, so getting a reaction to it, lots of text messages. This person says here, what makes me laugh is that these conversations have been on repeat since 92. Let's admit this is who we are and let me get a K-esque contract. Thanks. Wow.
Yeah, that's like what I was saying earlier. It's like we're stuck in perpetual Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were asking earlier, why don't we do something about it? Because, like that texter says, everybody wants to get theirs, get a little piece of this action before anything is done. But, of course, the deficits keep escalating, and the country sinks further and further into the abyss.
Didn't we see a new budget projection though of like, was it $336 billion? No, sorry, my apologies. $3.36 billion for the next fiscal year. I think I saw floated, which is kind of, I wouldn't say it's funny at all, but I don't know the specifics of it. I didn't see a thorough breakdown of what goes where, but it made me think. I feel like we've been down this road before, where we found ways, supposedly, but the government said they're going to find ways, or have found ways to increase revenue, changing the tax structure up a bit, and then they expect higher revenue projections while it's simultaneously increasing the budget far beyond what the revenue is expected to actually be able to achieve. So I don't know, Dwight.
So that means, Don, that they're going to tax you more. That's what that means.
Yes.
So,
and then we're still going to have massive deficits.
Yeah. Tax you more to pay people more. So there you go. All right. This person says the Bahamas has been through a lot. We had Hurricane Dorian, now the pandemic, which means that we are a broke country. Why would Mrs. Smith sue the government in these hard times? Well, I have a heart. Forget suing the government and move on. Well, I mean, as people are saying, hey, that's the contract. This was agreed to. Pay me what you owe me. Well, and you could argue that have a heart and don't, but I guess that's not how it works. Never mind.
You know who really should have a heart? Our governments. But,
Clearly they do for the people they hire. They do.
Yes. Yeah. They get sweetheart contracts, man.
It's beautiful. You really love me. You really, really do. This one says here, look at the Grand Lucayan Hotel managers payout. The former government paid out the managers in accordance with the law. The new administration paid the managers an additional sum in accordance with their union leader. The union leader's demands, who loses at the end of the day? The Bahamian people. Jesus, take the wheel. Yep, always. Another one here. Prime ministers of the Bahamas need to be held more responsible for their actions and what they allow to happen. We need to consider doing them the way the people of Libya dealt with Colonel Gaddafi. Oh, yeah? Oh, boy. Okay. I don't know about that one necessarily. There are legal ways you can deal with these things.
Yes, no more pension.
Speaking of union, the headline of the Tribune today, union chief quits to work for government. Evans has resigned as president of the National Congress of the Trade Unions of the Bahamas and will become the chief labor consultant negotiator for the government. His resignation confirmed in a letter dated January 23rd, sent to Dwayne Woods, the second vice president of the organization. Mr. Evans insisted yesterday that he's not abandoning the labor movement and said he believes he can help from within the government. Oh, we've heard that one before.
Yeah, again, Groundhog Day, right? Because didn't we see similar moves from John Pinder?
Well, hey.
I'm not trying to shit. I'm just saying, like,
I'm going to do
union folk leaving to go to government is nothing new. We've had members of parliament vote.
I'm going to do this
members
one
of
day.
parliament who literally were heads of labor movements
It
or
happens
unions.
all the time. Every 5 years.
Yeah, so it's normal. It's like it's a track into office, kind of.
We are very consistent here. We do the exact same thing over and over. I'm going to play. I've been saying this for years, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to play a week of shows that are just going to be reruns, and we'll see if anyone notices. I'm going to play a show from 5 years ago.
I did that before in my show, Dwight.
It was
happening
new.
that week, and it was from a year prior.
Really? So, I'm going to play a show from 5 years ago, February, and then see if anybody notices. I'll edit out the names because it'll be different names. And then people say, why is that person on his show? I'm sure it'll be a different co-host. But yeah, that was a special guest. And no one will know. No one will know. This person says here, we should also take a look at the other contracts issued to see if the Bahamian people are getting value for money. This person says, while the salary may be exorbitant, but it was negotiated and contractually agreed to by both parties. Unfortunately, breach of contract is suable. Yep, that's what it is. And the Prime Minister says, fight it in court if you think you have a case and you might win, like we did. That's what he said, the former Prime Minister, that is. Another one here. People bring up all kinds of stories. Didn't this also happen? Didn't this happen back in 19 and 18 and 2? Yep, yes, indeed. And another one here. The political parties have people who lobby, mostly foreigners, for large amounts of funding for their campaigns. As a reward, these lobbyists are granted sweet consultancy contracts that spin off to orchestrating other cronies receiving lucrative contracts, so everyone gets a piece of the pie. If you follow the background on some of these people, it would be safe to assume that this is a quid pro quo transaction. Don't blame the people who are betters who won't change the rules. Well, I think you can blame everybody. I think you can.
Well, yeah, and I like the fact that they brought up the campaign contributions and such. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I do. When the Minister administration, talked a lot about campaign finance reform at one point in time. Mm-hmm. And that was like a buzz thing everybody was talking about in the run-up to the 2017 election. And then it didn't happen. But the same thing plays out in the United States as well, where there's lots of quote-unquote quid pro quo. And the sad part about it is, like, people call it out all the time, but it seems to do absolutely nothing to stem the tide of it happening. So we're a smaller country, obviously. I think we're a little closer in proximity to our leaders because you can actually see these people physically. Let me not be hopeful. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change. The faces will change.
Yeah. All right. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, my good friend Don, the youngster, the future of the Bahamas. Hey, Don, and like I keep saying, my brother, let me tell you something. I'm old school in this country. And Jeff, I dare serious with what I'm saying. You see, treason is dead by hanging in our country. That's still in books of law. You see, and all this money is Dwight. And I got 2 chat groups, and I tell everybody in my chat group, you only see taxes here. Everybody who can look to pay more taxes because right now we cannot keep our own money to pay civil service, man, and pay pensioners. They cannot run the country like that. Everybody needs to pull their weight. The self-employed people need to start paying NIB. Everybody companies start collecting this money. They need to go to the Bank of Bahamas and collect this $500 million that these politicians borrow and they won't pay. That's why the foreign state need to hold the people. Feed to the pie, Be getting tired, Be getting tired, man. Just can't take my call, man.
Okay, thanks a lot. Let's take this other call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend. Are you there? Good morning. No. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. Good morning. Hi. Hi, you're on the air. Okay. Okay. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Wrong station. 422-4796. That's the text line. All right.
But that sound effect really feels like with the government, that's when it's time to answer questions. I'm sorry. It just came to mind when I heard the sound. I was like, that's the government, all right.
Yeah. My goodness.
Accountability, hang up, click.
Wow. All right. We'll take this final call before we have to break for the news. Let's do that. Okay. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and your guest.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. I have a question. This pending lawsuit or this lawsuit that was filed, right? And this contract. Now, I'm not getting into that, but the question that I have is that particular position, manager of the whatever, I feel as if that position, if we have NEMA, if we have all of these other agencies, right, that works with the disaster relief programs and departments for that, why do we necessarily have to replace the lady that was terminated? Why can't they government? Because when you look at all of the money that she has received, or her salary over $400,000, including the perks or whatever, don't you think that they can work just throw that away and just work within the government agencies and work, because we have the cost needs to be cut.
Well, that's what the executive chairman is saying now, that the people who are in place now don't make anywhere near combined what she was making. But you remember when this was created, it was explained how different it is from NEMA, and one is, I guess, before there's a problem, and this is an aftermath, dealing with the aftermath of a situation.
Yes, but I'm not
So-
saying, I mean, I don't think the people of Albuquerque and Grand Bahama can say they really saw a huge difference with that even being created. And the thing is, the amount of monies that was being paid, half of that could have built a few houses or done something on those islands. And I think, like you said, they said it's going to be cheaper. But I just think they need to alleviate that, just get rid of that position. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. Well, I don't know about the position, but I do get what you're getting at, and it sounds like they are saving some money now, definitely. We got to go to the news. A lot more when we get back. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Sun was in the sky. I lived when they thought that I would die. But I'm like water, the harder it gets, the higher I will rise. I will never stop striving. I will never stop trying.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got Atlantic high-pressure ridging that continues to support moderate winds and streaming moisture across the country. Meanwhile, a lingering cold front over Florida will move closer to the extreme northwest Bahamas by late tonight. For all areas today, forecast calls for variably cloudy conditions in the extreme northwest Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with isolated showers. For the rest of the country, mostly fair tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect for boaters. Temperatures getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front lingering near the extreme northwest Bahamas will drift into the northern through Thursday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, we're looking at variably cloudy, breezy conditions with isolated to widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Then Thursday, mostly cloudy with isolated showers and thunderstorms possible over portions of the central and southeast Bahamas. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And it's time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we've got Milo Butler Highway, as usual, the hotspot this morning. Heavy traffic in the northbound lanes from well south of Fire Trail and east along Fire Trail to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway, then all the way up to Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway. Traffic backed up along Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway, multiple directions east and westbound to that roundabout. Keep that in mind this morning. Gladstone Road also busy for you, just north of Fire Trail. You'll see that in the northbound lane heading up to JFK Drive. Building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. It's looking busy out there. And eastbound as well to Blue Hill Road, which is seeing heavy traffic from practically Zion Boulevard, Cowpen Road, all the way up to the Independence Drive roundabout, but especially near St. Vincent Road, near Carmichael, which is very busy, and all the way from Carmichael up to Independence Drive. Independence Drive is a big mess for you westbound. In fact, that extends between the two roundabouts this morning, from East-West Highway roundabout to the Independence Drive roundabout. Just entirely westbound, not looking good at all. Eastbound also busy about midway through. And so of this morning. Blue Hill Road, as we mentioned before, East Street is busy between Soldier and that roundabout with East West Highway, and at the intersection with Robinson Road as well. And Robinson Road has its share of issues. Marathon Road and East West Highway intersection, Soldier Road intersection, and then Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue and Prince Charles and Fox Hill Road. Those are looking very congested for you. Eastern Road, heavy traffic from Sans Souci all the way up to Johnson Road westbound, especially near Fox Hill. You'll see that heavy traffic. Bernard Road as well, near the schools in the area. And that intersection with Bernard, Wolf, Soldier, and Village, not looking like the place you want to be this morning. Then we've got issues on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach and on the approach to Arawak Key eastbound, and pockets along Shirley Street. So it's a very busy morning for you. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Spend money on tickets, but he ain't coming.
My shopper. Buy my shop, no money more.
Spend money on tickets, but him now come. Some fellas so happy that little movie ain't gon' get wine on.
Dead scared.
Just like deja vu, this one reminds me of the carnival. Didn't make sure you get approved according to the protocol. Pack up your wigs and your nails, cause you're not considered for nails.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Don Sargent. That's solo. He's very fast. He's got a new song about Dex. That's how you say it, Don? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently it's not going to happen. It's very clear what's unclear. Anyway, Latrey Ramming in the Office of the Prime Minister was on a talk show last night and said this, that the government, looking at the situation and hoping to keep the numbers down, decided not to allow for this to happen. Yesterday, though, the organizers were very optimistic that this was going to be allowed for, I think it was Friday night here in Nassau and Saturday in Freeport. But it appears no go. No Dexter. Where are you going? Where are you going, Don?
No, I had no plans at all. Were you, Dwight?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I just found out who he is 2 days ago. So yeah, so I have
the same
no
here.
idea.
I get fooled now, you know.
I thought it was a girl, a woman. I didn't know who. Oh, okay. But yeah. So, oh boy, that's sad. But yeah, people were concerned about that, and the Super Bowl's this weekend, Valentine's Day, all in one super spreader.
I know, right? Plenty of money getting spent. But the first thing came to my mind when I saw I think he put out a tweet on Twitter when he, I guess, first addressed this issue. And the first thing came to my mind was, what if he puts it in a hotel? It seems there are different rules there.
Is it too late? Is it too late?
That's what I was thinking. Go to Atlantis, Doja Cat can have a concert here and there's no problem. So just if it's possible, just relocate to one of the hotels. Probably going to cost them it. Might have only rented their venue already. But it can still happen, anything's possible once you're in a hotel, it seems.
Oh my.
I don't know.
I mean, which hotel would fit, would want? Okay. Hey, maybe it's still time. It's still time. It's just Tuesday. Could get something together, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I said it. I don't know who Dexter Daps is. I just found out. Okay.
You got to be hip to the times, Dwight.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. No one says it anymore.
Perhaps.
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I think I stopped don't say stop paying attention, but I think my brain stopped on like back in the days when Jackie and everybody else was popping. Now things have changed so much.
I haven't heard that name in a while. Jack here. Wow. Okay.
See, I know, right?
Yeah.
Now you're making you aging me, Dwight. I like that.
Oh my. Anyway, so unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening unless something major happens in the next couple of days. So we'll keep you posted. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about Safer Internet Day. That is today. We're going to get some details about that. Before we get to that, though, I want you to hear this report that came out of the Senate yesterday, what senators are saying about a new parliament building. They're back to talking about that. Take a listen to this very interesting report from our Jasmine Brown.
Moving the resolution in the Senate was Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Michael Halkitis. Halkitis made a case for the committee by insisting there is general consensus that Parliament should manage its own budget and affairs.
Key and the part of the genesis of this entire resolution is the principle that Parliament, inclusive of the House of Assembly and the Senate, being independent, be allowed for the administration of their own budget so that they can be more nimble and move more quickly to secure the goods and services that they require to deliver responsibilities.
The resolution was taken up in the Senate 2 weeks after it made its way through the House of Assembly. Like in the House of Assembly, Halkitis stressed the need for the committee to look at additional resources and funding for MPs and senators.
And so do we look at increasing the amount of the capital allowance to allow members of Parliament to do more things like small road repairs and other repairs and developments within their constituency. The reality is, Madam President, that some members of Parliament have more resources themselves, or they can have access to more resources by virtue of their connections and who they are. And so that we do not, so that representation does not become or I don't want to say remain. So it is not a rich person's game.
Last month, members of Parliament supported the resolution that establishes a standing committee to determine if a new Parliament should be constructed and to determine what support members of Parliament and senators should be given to carry out their work. An interim report from a previous committee of the House in 2014 drew strong criticism. That select committee, chaired by the late Bernard Nottage, recommended the construction of a new House of Assembly and the salaries for MPs and the Deputy Speaker be increased. Following the public fury over the issue, the recommendations were abandoned. 8 years later, Halkitis says he believes the committee should still look at the need for new parliamentary facilities.
It's a physical state of our facilities, and we have been talking about it for a long time. And as you walk in the Senate, you see on the wall written the fact that these buildings were built between 1813 and 1815. That's 1813 and 1815, 200 years ago, Madam President. And so we know that the physical state of our buildings need attention for the effective performance of our duties.
Opposition supported the resolution. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, we've got two issues here with that report. They're talking about the buildings, and yes, they're old, and they've got a lot needs to be done. And yeah, I'm sure they do need a new building. But did you hear what Michael Halkitis said? Providing a budget, that needs to be discussed. Providing a budget for the MPs to do basic upkeep in their constituencies. You know what that sounds like to me, Don? That sounds
contract.
Like no. It sounds like local government. And when you're calling for, you're opposing things, but calling for the same things. This is what happens here in this country.
No. I think you're misunderstanding something, right?
Me?
Because I think what you're I think what you're thinking about is the whole thing with the local government thing, or where it was supposed to be an assigned office and with staff and all like that. At least that kind of concept and idea. What this is just an acceleration of more centralization of government powers. There is no diffusion of anything. This is the local government solution while maintaining complete central government control. If that makes any sense.
Yes. I mean, the way they would do it, based on what he's talking about, but they're trying to achieve the same thing they could by decentralizing the government. and which would be more efficient and allow for these areas if they were not just constituencies but wider areas, like what was proposed by the committee for.
See, Dwight, what you're talking about is exactly how you don't get contract. See, because what you try to do right now sound like it's making a little bit of sense. And dying always do things. So, jokes aside, though, I'm not a fan of this solution at all. I understand the ethos and the thought behind it. I agree with you, Dwight. I think the local government solution makes a heck of a lot more sense. I think each MP, I don't think a party should be renting out a space to house an MP or constituency office. I think those things should be provided by the state in conjunction that there should be staff that is also employed by the state that are civil servants. They don't get fired when a government changes. Their job is to serve the MP that lives, I presume the people who there would be living in the community. Who knows? I don't know. But their job is to serve whoever's the MP, regardless of party, color, affiliation, anything, because the civil service is supposed to be non-biased. Now, I know in a perfect world that is absolutely the case, and in our actual reality and universe, that's a different story. Although I think a lot of people do have integrity. That's my thought. That's my position on that. I am not a fan of more of these budget things. And will this then accelerate this thing that we see every election cycle where like they start fixing things on the road? Because even by my house, like the road from the 2017 election was like half fixed and to this day is still ain't finished because the MP got voted out. So I don't know. I think there should be more continuation of government in terms of let the central, if you're going to have central government need to do things, having these things and having a budget allotted for them is better, I think, than just telling them, here's a budget, go on. Just my opinion.
Yeah, well, decentralize. Some of your text messages here, we got to get, and let's take this call really quickly and then we get to your messages. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend. Are you there? No. Okay. This person says here, so Mike Halkitis wants to make local government redundant? Capital budget for MPs? It's very head-scratching. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. In my humble opinion, if the government is... Oh, this is back to that. Okay. They don't think they're going to stand a chance against the Fred Smith with the K. Forbes Smith case. Another one here. No, we do not want any MP getting one more cent. We need local funded elected government. Yes, indeed. Another
I like what I'm hearing, and I agree with that texter 100 million billion %.
Mm-hmm. Another one here. Why can't they renovate the building like it's done in the UK? It's an attraction to have a building done in the 1800s that's still being used. Our leaders are so visionless. Well, it's going to take a lot of money to fix that place and to make it disabled friendly.
Fair,
many issues.
Dwight. I think. I mean, I understand the concern of wanting to essentially relocate to a different space, and I joked about it a little when we was on commercial break. Right, the pros and cons of building a new structure. I'm very curious, and I'm going to throw a little shade here. I'm very curious if we do construct a new Parliament building, will that be one of the few buildings constructed in modern Bahamian history that may actually stay on budget, or is that just going to be a duplicate of the stadium, where when the government change, they decide we're just going to halt this due to irregularities or whatever the situation is? I don't think the public has a appetite for more and more money spending on construction of buildings. Not saying that there isn't one needed now. I take a look at the Parliament building, you can see some work needs to be done. But I don't know. Yep. I like the idea of having the historical structure still functioning.
It doesn't have to be the Parliament building, though. It could be.
Pardon?
It could be, as people suggested, maybe a museum. Maybe that's where the National Museum could be.
I mean, that's possible, but you need to. I don't know. I hate saying to give out a detailed plan of exactly how this is going to work. But if we're doing a museum and giving this to for example, the Antiquities and Monuments Corporation, that also requires money to still renovate the space. So I don't know, Dwight. I'm on the fence about this.
Let me read a couple more messages before we go to the break. This person says here, I don't agree with giving MPs a capital budget. It's not the role of the MP to upkeep the roads, etc. It's a government's responsibility. Well, I disagree wholeheartedly with this. Another slush fund and waste of taxpayers' monies. Yeah, okay. This one says they haven't proven what it is they're doing with the $100,000 we give them per year. Come back again to debate this increase. Another one saying something similar to that. Wow. Hey, this is a whole show, but I'm more and more on the side of moving the capital out of Nassau. I'm telling you, I know people are going to like, what is this guy talking about? But I'm telling you, it's sounding better and better. A purpose-built capital somewhere else in the Bahamas and moving it out of Nassau, and we'll get all the... I would go even further south. I would go further south, southern Bahamas. But think about it, folks, and then we get all the folks who just love politics, get them to go too, and free up some land in Nassau, and we could change this city entirely. But that's just me. But we'll get to that on another show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Safer Internet Day. That's today. What does that mean? We'll get into it. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
No, sir. I talk in prayer meeting every night. Pray this boy don't come. I know if they have it on Zoom. I know. Why some people so mad? They want their money back. They say your promises was compulsory.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Maria is going away to college and she needs access to money. But I'm worried about her spending. Maybe I can create an alarm that goes off every time she overspends. Or I'll just move in with her. Hi, Rumi. Or just get RBC Credit Share, the RBC credit card feature that allows you to easily and safely share funds. You set the spending limit so you're always in control. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/credit share. Special conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. It is Safer Internet Day, now in its 19th edition. Here to talk about it, we're very pleased to welcome from BTC, Director of Technology Operations, Chantel Cox-Hutchinson, Manager of Enterprise Sales, Tyrone Knowles, and Senior Manager of Communications, Indira Colley. Welcome to the show. Great to have you all with us.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
And happy, good morning, everyone. Happy Safer Internet Day.
Same to you.
Same to you and to the Bahamas.
Yes, indeed. I have never heard of this before, but this is the 19th one. Tell us all about this. What is it all about?
All right. So Dwight, Safer Internet Day is a global initiative. It's recognized in 150 countries actually across the globe. And the whole idea is just about raising the importance of being safe on the internet. The whole day is geared towards younger people primarily, so school-age children, This year for BTC, this is the third year of a global pandemic, and kids are still, for the most part, in a hybrid or fully, online with school. So we are really raising awareness about the importance of just being safe online. What we actually wanted to do this year, instead of, focusing on a lot of the bad things that happen on the internet, we want our kids to now tell us how the internet can actually be used for good. So we're actually going to be kicking off a video essay competition today, and it's geared towards kids in upper primary school. So if you're between grades 4 through 6 or grades 7 through 9, you have an opportunity to win up to $1,000 in cash.
Oh, wow.
Just by telling us, how you can use the internet for good, how you can be smart, respectful, and appropriate on the internet. So to learn more information about that, we're asking students, parents, teachers to actually go onto our social media pages. We're actually also, Dwight, including a bonus as well, too, for the English departments of these schools. So this is an extra kicker for teachers. So schools, if you would like for your kids to participate, there is also a bonus as well, too, for the English department. They will win a special prize as well, too. I'll let Chantel and Tyrone kind of talk about some of the prevailing issues out there at safety. But today really and truly is all about just celebrating the importance of just being smart, respectful, and appropriate on the internet.
All right, wonderful. We'll come back to you, Indira, about some details about this video competition in a bit. But Chantel and Tyrone, yes, this is great stuff. The competition is for the kids, but so many adults don't seem to understand internet safety and being responsible. From your perspective, how are we looking? Do people act responsibly and do the things that they're supposed to do and not click on the things that will be damaging? Tell us about it.
So Dwight, I'm gonna let Tyrone elaborate on that, but the last 2 years we've been in the pandemic, and we've all experienced the online craze. Everything is online. The banks, your school, your work, everything is online. So one of the things, and it's ironic that you said it, as adults, we just click on stuff. We just do, we do anything, but that's not really safe. You have to make sure that, your passwords are safe, that that the sites that you're going to are safe, that they have the little security seal at the very top, where it says HTTPS. When you're putting in your credit card information, when you're banking online. If you look at the banks online, and I know First Caribbean has it, they send out their fraud alerts. They send you frequent fraud alerts and telling you not to give out your information to unauthorized individuals. So as adults, it's just not only for the kids, and you talked about the kids and the video contest, but it's also for adults as well, because phishing scams and cyber hacks are a real thing. Oh, yeah. And it's happening constantly. I mean, every couple of seconds you can see someone that has maybe been hacked, or your credit card has been hacked, or some company you've left your credit card information with that has been hacked. So it's not only for Safer Internet Day, it's not only for the kids, it's also for the adults.
On the show on how many people are so easily, they don't even think about it, will just try to get onto a restaurant's free Wi-Fi, or wherever they are, the hotel's free Wi-Fi, without giving it a second thought that anybody can have access to this information that you're on.
Yep, absolutely. That's something, Dwight, that and working, I've been in IT for most of my life, and I've seen firsthand how persons are, they're, like, as you said, they're so easily duped, as you can say, into just connecting to anything that they say free. Once it says free, they instantly connect to it. And without second thoughts, you don't know if that access point or that wireless network is even fraudulent and being used to gather information. And persons have lost information. Persons have had their identities compromised because of it.
Yeah, wow. So what do you recommend? I mean, other than paying for your own data, what do you recommend people? I mean, maybe that is the only way to go.
Well, absolutely. Well, we're in the internet is no longer where it's more so thought of as a commodity. It's almost a necessity, right? We're on it, even right now, we're on it for our day-to-day activities. So when you're traveling, it's even best to ensure that that you pay attention to what you connect to and invest in VPN technology and software. so that the wireless networks that you connect to are indeed encrypted and secured.
Oh, that is great information. Yeah. What do you say to folks who say, well, that's expensive? And yes, free is important to me. I need to save money.
Free is important.
Yeah, it's expensive now. But imagine if you have to go
if
back.
You lose your identity.
Exactly. If you have to pay for credit card fraud, the banks take very long to refund monies. You have to pay a penny now for a pound later. Even companies, we at BTC, we take internet safety and online safety very, very seriously. Even companies, some companies, your email is on personal phones. What we've done is we now have on our phones, on most of our employees' phone, Intune Company. It's a secure portal. So you won't be able to download company information on the personal side of your phone. So even companies are now taking interest in making sure that their data is safe on your phone, because we've all gone into the online business. But I say, Dwight, pay a penny now.
Yeah.
To save you in the long run.
Let's talk more about that. That's very interesting. Downloading, so I never thought about it before, downloading your company information on your personal devices. Tell us more about what you were just talking about, what the companies are now doing.
So I know at BTC we have, if you have a personal device, you can set up what is called company portal, and it's a secure portal, and it has Microsoft 360. It has all of the tools, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those. But if I wanted to download a work document or put it in WhatsApp, I can't do it because it's restricting my profile. It's restricting my ability to swap, I would say, between my personal profile and my work profile.
Wow.
So the company's data, even though it's my personal phone, is very secured. And that is tied to my laptop, and it's tied to the company's server, and it's tied to everything, but it's secured. Now, when I want to do personal stuff, I have to change my profile and go into and do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those things. But I cannot copy from one to the other. And that is basically because we're now in an online environment. Like Tyron said, we're online, we're at home now. 90% of our employees are home. So we have to need data remain safe, even though, you're working from home and you still have your personal things to do. So a lot of companies are also doing that, right? Because again, once a hacker gets into your company, that's all of your company's data that is out there.
My goodness. Wow. All right. So does this involve Safer Internet Day also just being better citizens and not being a bully, a cyber bully? Is that part of it, or are we just mainly talking about the technology side of it?
Well, absolutely, Dwight. From a cyberbullying perspective, it's a major threat that our, not only kids, but adults, right, where a person's malign and denigrate your character all over the internet. So it's that part and participle where it's a tool, but it's also a destructive tool for persons who have malicious intent. So with Safer Internet Day, what we want to do is the aim of it is to build awareness of all of the online issues that we currently face and all of the current issues that we as human beings face in this new digital landscape. And it's really to create a complete safer space for users by giving them information. And when you arm people with information, information becomes a catalyst for change because people now have to apply it, right? One of the things, and I know Chantel is probably going to laugh about it because she and I both have a deep IT background, is that it's very rare because of the amount of money that people invest into their network. It's very rarely the computer's fault. It's always the person, the layer 7 issue, the person sitting behind the keyboard, right, that has the issue. So when that individual, or we as individuals, are shored up and educated and made aware of certain things, then we become sharper. And when we become sharper, the business becomes sharper.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it. I mean, we've perfected this as cyberbullying almost. Bahamian Twitter is infamous now. Just those words. And what can we do to de-escalate all of this and bring about a gentler side? Or is this freedom of expression? People should be allowed to say what they want to say within reason.
It's about responsibility, Dwight. And that's what Safer Internet Day is all about. BTC is involved, and Dara indicated earlier that this is our 3rd year. And it's about promoting the safe, responsible, and positive use of technology, not only for children, for adults, because adults do a lot of bullying online as well. It's about making sure that we're responsible, not just responsible citizens physically, but from a technology perspective as well. Like you said, Bahamian Twitter. It's an interesting it's an interesting site, but it's about making sure parents, children, grandparents know about the safety of technology and internet, but also to promote it as a positive tool, not as a negative tool to bash individuals or, to spread gossip, but it's a positive tool because look at it now. 90% of our kids are online learning. I know kids that are, they have left local Bahamian schools and are doing online learning in schools in different countries. So the internet is a wonderful tool that can open up the world to you, but only if you use it responsibly and safely.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Indira, let's get back to the competition, the video competition. So you said the grades 4 through 6 and 7 through 9. Any rules as to how long the videos need to be? What are some of the details there? Is Indira's mic
So
muted?
I can start until she comes in.
All
So
right.
we asked the students, right? So they can go to www.BTC Safe for Internet Day Facebook page, facebook.com/mybtc, and the rules of engagement are there. I don't have the detail of how long the video must be, but the rules are there on those two sites, and it's for grades 4 to 9, 4 to 6 for primary school, and 7 to 9 for junior school. It's $1,000 cash prize for the student, as well as $1,000 for the school's English department. And the video must talk about the positive impacts of the internet and how to be safe online. The students can submit it at that site as well. And we will do the judging later in the month. I think it's the 28th of the month.
And what are you looking for? How are you going to pick a winner with this?
Boy, Indira hasn't given me the of engagement as yet, and she's
that's gonna be the hard part, Dwight, because our kids are really creative. But Chantel, the videos are actually supposed to be at least 2 minutes in length, and no longer than 5 minutes, and they really should not have any offensive language at all, no offensive attire, political messaging. But they can go right to our website, btcbahamas.com/safer internet day for all of the rules, the eligibility and the guidelines, everything's there. The essay topic is being smart, respectful, and appropriate on the internet. And we're asking kids, why is it really important for internet users to be just that? Dwight, I know earlier you talked about the parents and you said, we're talking about the kids, but what about the parents? So today, actually, in conjunction with our parent company's foundation, we are going to be launching a digital internet safety guide for parents as well. So that will be on our website too. And, it's a practical guide for parents, talks about some real practical issues. And so it breaks down a lot of these technical terms into very simple bullet points for parents to read through and understand. It's an interactive guide. There's a lot of video content in there as well, too. So we're going to post that to our social media pages as well, too, so parents can actually have a look at that. And we're actually going to be sharing that directly with schools so that they can share it with parents as well, too. So there's a whole lot of content covered there, stuff like, your digital footprint, digital literacy, digital empathy. There's a whole lot of useful content there for parents. So we've also thought about the parents as well, too.
This is wonderful stuff. This is very exciting. And I definitely would love for you to bring the winners on when they are selected. We'd love to have them and meet them. And I know it's radio, but we'd love to play the videos if possible. So looking forward to that. Great stuff. And I'm very excited about it. Safer Internet Day today. Again, Chantel, Tyrone Knowles, and Indira Colley. Always a pleasure talking with you all. Thank you so much. And happy Safer Internet Day again to all of you.
Thanks a bunch, Dwight.
Thank you, Dwight.
Thanks, Bahamas. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dawn, I know you have to go, but thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Hope you have a good one. Coming up in Morning Blend Business in just a few minutes, you want to stay tuned for this. We're going to be talking about food price increases. We're being told to brace for that. Gas prices going up as well. What's happening, folks? Is it the supply chain issue? Is it the pandemic? Is it everything? And how will we survive this all? We're going to break it down for you coming up in just a few minutes of Morning Blend Business. We're back after news headlines. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. Welcome back to our news. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. This morning we are talking about food price increases. We're being told to brace for them, and motorists also being warned to brace for higher gas prices. This on top of what some are saying are already sky-high prices. How high will these prices go? Joining me now to talk about this, we're very pleased to welcome our Morning Blend co-host, who's also a senior business reporter at the Nassau Guardian, Chester Robards. Good morning, Chester. Great to have you here on a Tuesday morning. Chester, unmute your mic. Yeah? Yes? Unmute? Did he do it? Not yet? All right, while he does that, I'm going to read his article from today's Nassau Guardian. It's the lead story in today's Nassau Guardian. SuperValue's Chief Financial Officer, Deborah Simonet, urging Bahamians to budget their money and brace for price increases on grocery items. Simonet says the price increases brought on by supply chain issues caused by the COVID pandemic, coupled with the 10% increase in value-added tax on breadbasket items, present a double whammy for some shoppers. According to Simonet, SuperValue suppliers have already increased prices 2 and 3 times in some cases, and that this is expected to continue. She said, quote, "Unfortunately, I cannot offer you any hope that there will be relief in the near future." My goodness. Because everything is really crazy right now, and I do believe this is going to continue for a while. She continues, we're experiencing a lot of price hikes ourselves. The suppliers are hitting us with price hikes every day. So in certain cases, we have no choice but to pass it on to the consumer. We've tried our best to hold off on price hikes as best we could for as long as we could by buying ahead at the lower prices. But once these supplies have been depleted, we're going to have to pass on the prices, the higher prices that are being passed on to us. There was a 10% VAT increase on breadbasket items, coupled with the inflation that has presented itself lately. It's a double whammy. It is a worldwide thing. Simonet is urging customers not to look at the price increases as a SuperValue issue, but to understand that the inflation is global. She says, quote, "We are trying our best in giving you the best prices on certain items." She said producers and shippers continue to have difficulties with labor shortages, factory shutdowns, trucker shortages, and shipping issues, all due to the pandemic. Simonet says in some cases, all these issues affect suppliers, driving up the cost of the products they produce, leaving the end user, the customer, grimacing at prices of the items on the shelf. She says, quote, "We're seeing some crazy, crazy stuff. Consumers should be prepared. Budget your money and make it stretch as far as it can. There's nothing we can do. We just have to fall in line." Okay, wow. Chester Robards, are you there with us now?
Yes, I finally got myself unmuted.
There you go. This is some scary stuff. This is the way she's saying it. I mean, it's like this is like a giant monster is coming to gobble up our wallets.
Well, I don't think she had to say it.
Yes.
I think we're seeing it, right?
We've been seeing it. But to think that it could get even worse and much, much worse is unsettling, to say the least.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly what the reasoning is for later on down the line. Mm-hmm. And like the discussion you and I had before, we had former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis that we would face some headwinds in 2022.
Right.
And maybe this is what he was talking about.
Perhaps.
But it's you also mentioned something else that she didn't actually mention, but rising gas prices.
Yes.
Globally, we saw OPEC production problems in the news recently, and so all of those things are going to drive global prices up.
Yeah. I want to get to that article. This is in today's Guardian business section from your colleague Paige McCartney. She's writing, crude oil prices are trending upwards and are expected to hit new highs since the COVID pandemic, which has prompted at least one gas station owner and operator to warn Bahamians to brace for the worst, but expect the best. A barrel of oil. I don't know what that. Yeah. A barrel of oil in the U.S. closed higher than $91 yesterday, the highest it has been since 2014. U.S. President Joe Biden vowed last week that his administration would find ways to tackle the escalating prices. But Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association, Vasco Bastian, says there's nothing Bahamians can do about the price at the pumps except ride out the surge. Wow. He's saying, quote, "I would tell Bahamians to continue to drive, continue to add the gas treatments to their cars to get a little extra miles per gallon. Just brace for the worst, but expect the best, because there's nothing we as consumers can do. Here in the Bahamas, we don't produce any sort of oil, so we don't get to determine the price of oil or what a barrel of oil goes for when it hits our shores. The price of oil is done on the futures market. It's trending up nearly $100 a barrel, and it will go back to 2014-2015 prices. We don't have any say in it. The Bahamas government doesn't have any say in that. The gas station operators don't have any say in that. That's all determined by the price of crude oil and the rise in crude oil. Previous interview, whatever goes up will eventually come back down. All I can tell consumers in the Bahamas is to brace for that. Now, as of this week, the price of a gallon of gas in the province was $1 more than it was a year ago. In January 2021, the price of gas had reached a low of $4.01 per gallon on average. However, this year at Rubis, the price was $4.99. That was the lowest, just by a few cents, though, compared to Shell at $5.05 and Esso at $5.09. Wow. This is Bastian again saying that the government is the one that makes the money when the price of gas goes up in the Bahamas, not gas station operators, not even the wholesalers, who would be, in this case, Rubis for Sol Petroleum, Esso, and Shell. He says the government gets nearly $1.50 per gallon of fuel. When you go to the gas station and you see a price of gas retailing, for example, $4, the government gets close to $1.50. Wholesalers get 33 cents. The dealers get 54 cents, and 54 cents on gasoline and 34 cents on diesel. And then VAT is calculated on top of all of that. So the government gets a lot more than $1.50, eh? We are all consumers. We're not oil producers. If we were producers of oil, we would have some say in the game, but we have no say. He says that given the country's supply of fuel is always higher than needed at any given month, the cycle of batches currently stored to new batches to be shipped can be anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks. He says based on the oil trends in the United States, that's when local consumers can anticipate a spike in current prices. But he said he knows for certain prices won't stay high for long. Okay, so this is all scary. So the gas and the food, and we're seeing the inflation globally, everywhere, everything, and the shortages. It just sounds like, even more than right now, a frustrating time ahead for Bahamian consumers.
Yeah. And even in some cases, you have like the orange growers had a bad crop apparently recently, and so orange juice prices are going up.
Right.
So even those kinds of things are kind of tipping the prices, on a scale that we're not used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is crazy. All right, folks, let's get your views on this. We're hearing from everybody here that there's nothing we can do. Just sit back and take it or ride the wave, I guess. What say you on all of this? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I noticed in your story, the CFO is saying, yeah, don't blame us, Super Value, or I guess any of the other stores for this. This is beyond their control. This is what's happening. And a lot of people have been very critical of the stores, but this is just the way of the world. And
yeah, it's what people love to do, right? They blame the place that they go to. And it's So look at the I don't know if you saw pictures. There are pictures of beef prices. Mm-hmm. That people are sending around with like a cut of steak costing like $70.
Right.
And people are like, "What is this?" But in the United States, even the people who supply have been complaining that they're selling it at the regular cost, so they haven't driven their cost up, and they're not making more money. But when it hits the market, the prices are way up there. Mm-hmm. And that could be for any number of reasons, right? Again, gas prices, shipping problems, all of that coupled together is causing. So even the end user, the beef producer, isn't making more money, right? And probably neither is the person driving the price up. Right. They just have to, because their other prices are gone up.
Yes.
So they have to pay more for shipping. They have to pay more for gas. They have to pay more. And that's driven the cost of beef up, and not the beginning user or the beginning of the process, which is the farmer.
Yeah.
So it's the same for the food stores. They buy from somebody who's already, driven the cost up because their costs have gone up. And so now they pass that on to the consumer so that they could continue to stock their shelves and buy more things and pay their electricity and pay their staff. Again, like they said, there's almost nothing that they could do.
And we know the government has tried to downplay the impact of the VAT increase on breadbasket items, but people have done their own studies. They've looked at what they've bought before the increase there and what it costs now. And it may be pennies, although we don't use those anymore. It may be a few cents, but the prices, your bill is a bit higher. And that will, of course, add up on top of prices that are rising across the board. So this is a very challenging time indeed for a lot of consumers. Let's get to your text messages as well, 422-4796. Tweet us or Facebook us. Someone says here, the problem we have with the gas situation is when a barrel of gas, I guess oil, is at $25 to $30, the prices never seem to really go down. But when it rises, it always follows at the pumps. We are getting goosey for years with this gas situation. That's a very interesting point.
We had some surprisingly low gas prices at some point in the last 3 years or so, or 4 years.
Surprisingly low?
Yeah, for our country, yeah.
For our country, okay. I mean, yeah, I see in the article it says that a year ago it was $4 and just over $4. And yes, that's low for us. Still extremely high. You can imagine places where they complain all the time about gas prices. They would never stand for $4 gas. But yeah, surprisingly low. Boy, that's when you...
They start to break up the city over there.
Right? But here, as long as it's not $5, we're fine. But it is pretty much $5 here, and it has been higher and likely will go higher again. And people, and you do. Boy, another text here. Great show as usual. We need to grow our own food. I have a great idea. Let the prisoners farm to help feed the country other than sitting in Fox Hill getting fat and calling people for data on their cell phones.
Wow. Well, she made an interesting point, and it's time for Bahamians, I guess, in this dire time at the food store to change what they're doing. Budgeting is one thing, absolutely, but also there are places that you can go. I'm not talking about wholesalers. I'm gonna try and hide my plug so that people don't run to her. But I don't get all of my
very selfish of you.
greens.
Very selfish of you, Chester.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't get all of my leafy greens from the food store. Actually, I go to a small farm and get almost the same amount of greens for a lot less money.
Mm-hmm.
And, people could start looking for those kinds of things. There are farms down on Cowpen Road where you could get great deal. And so this is also time to start eating healthy, right, Dwight? Because you know about vegetarianism and all that.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And, I don't think you can use the argument that it's more expensive to be vegetarian with everything going up. It seems like eating meat is going to be priced out of the...
Well, you saw it. You saw it.
You're going to get priced out of that. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a big cut of steak that they showed.
Yeah. I saw something, I don't know if it's authentic, about ground beef, a packet of ground beef and how much that was. I mean, that was outrageous.
Yeah, depends on what kind. There are different levels of ground beef too.
Yeah, perhaps.
But the prices have gone up, and like I said, the beef producers, the farmers who have the cows, they've said, we haven't increased our prices.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, along the supply chain after they leave the farm is where the cost increases are coming from.
Yeah, well, the absence of truckers definitely will drive up the cost, and and as you mentioned, the fuel prices. When you finally do find a trucker, the fuel price there is going to add to this hardship as well. All right, so we want to hear from people. If you are listening to these warnings coming from different sectors now. How is your behavior going to change? What are you going to do? What can you do other than sit back and take it, as we're being told? What's going to change for you? Are you cutting back on your purchases? Are you buying less gas? Are you not getting as much as you used to get before? What's changed for you? 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Glen Business.
Yes, good morning again, Dwight.
Hi.
On Chester this time, right?
Yes.
Okay,
morning.
what I intend to do, me and several family members, what we intend to do probably next month is of each family, a family with 6 different families, right? Everybody put together $500, which will bring it to $3,000. Pay for just one person ticket for a day in a car, right? And let that person go and shop $100 with a grocery, wholesale grocery, like canned goods, meat, and stuff like that, and share it amongst 6 families. And you will have the balance of the money to pay, because, most grocery items are duty-free. The majority of them are duty-free. And you'll have enough funding to pay for your shipping and your duty when you return out that same $3,000. And that should be supplied for at least for 2 months. Because every time you go in the food store here, you're not going to spend less than $100 and you only can get 2 or 3 bags. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I advise them to start thinking out of the box. Okay?
Have you done the math, though? I mean, will you really save?
Of course, Dwight. I used to live in Florida, and I'm telling you this. There are some stores in Florida that you can go to, and you could get a case of corn, a case of cream. All those are for less than $20 to $25. I'm speaking about cases. I'm not speaking about one item. You understand what I'm saying to you? Or places like Save a Lot and several other places that I shop at, because my brother was in college at the time, and I stayed with him for several months. And I'm telling you, when I spend $200 to $225 in the store, that's a whole month's supply of grocery. Okay, and even if the prices are up, it's not up that much that we can't be competitive, because there are many locations you can go to in the U.S., different agency that you can buy food from.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I hope
so.
so.
All you gotta do is let someone shop around online to find out the best prices, so you know exactly where you're going in Florida or wherever you're going to buy your grocery from. So you'll have an idea exactly what you're going to spend for the item, what the shipping going to cost, and then you'll know exactly how to work it out from there. Because I'm telling you, going in the store right now, I just came from the store actually 2 days ago. I spent, you might think I'm kidding, I spent almost $200, and if I get 7 bags of grocery, I got a lot. And get it for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I'm guaranteed. I'm telling you what I see, what's happening in the stores as it stands. So imagine in another week or 2 when prices really go up.
Yeah, it's
It
scary.
doesn't make any sense at all.
It's
I'm
terrifying.
not blaming the store owners, but I'm just saying we as behemoths need to start thinking out of the box.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, man.
Sounds good. I hope it works out. I mean, they're complaining bitterly over there, right, about the prices and the availability, right? As I mentioned earlier, a restaurateur talking about this in the States, how she couldn't find ketchup from her supplier for weeks, if not months. And there are other things like that.
Ketchup thing again?
Yeah, yes. And other basic items that you just can't find for ages. And so that's been a big challenge. Let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on Morning Glen Business. Good morning.
Dwight of the Bahamas, Alan Johnson.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight, we kind of had the same conversation in June of 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic, where we talked about the fact that we were going to soon be facing a food insecurity as well as a housing insecurity, among other things. And this has just been exacerbated by the continual impact of the lockdown and logistic issues around the world. But one of the things that we have failed to do as a country is, and I think this is the time for the Department of Social Services to step up to the plate. Any competence survey right now today would tell you that maybe as much as 60% of the Bahamian household as of today due to the impact of the reduced time. People went back to work, but it's still reduced time, what they call underemployment as well as unemployment. That as much as maybe 60% of families in the country may be at or under the poverty line based on the family size. I've heard the chairman of the got closer to 50%. I say it's substantially higher. Now, the point of that is that this is where a social safety net that we've talked about for a number of years comes into play. The problem is you cannot, and that's where you provide a form of food security and, these transfer payments. When we talk about 10,000 people or whatever amount of families, and you look at 130,000 families in the Bahamas, you could see even if 50% is correct, that would mean 60,000, 65,000 families could be in distress. So 10,000 that social services now talk about doesn't meet the requirement. But a social safety net actually does the analysis across the entire country and across every single household rather than the marketing aspect of what we do. And then you can make a determination as to the minimal needs for sustenance in each family. And we talk about buying things in wholesale. There's some things, and oftentimes in a period of crisis, what we want to eat and what we need to eat becomes two different things. And so the government of the Bahamas can buy green in bulk wholesale for redistribution, which will reduce the cost after rice, beans, dried corn, flour, even dried milk, peanut butter, cheese. It's a whole list of things that meet certain requirements. Because what we are seeking to do is to provide food security, as opposed to what we do is we combine food security and food sovereignty. Food security in the Bahamas is not what we have discussed. Food security is the ability to feed an entire nation for a predetermined amount of time, whether you produce the stuff or not. And so we need a food security strategy to say for 6 months of the basic minimal need to meet and sustain these families. And basically the government, that's only buy a 5-pound bag of rice. I think the lowest is $3.50 now. But when you buy rice in bulk for redistribution, repackaging, whatever, you could get as low as 10, 20 cents a pound, because this is not your name brand. I'm not going to call it a name brand. And it's the same thing across the things for beans and all these other different things for certain protein balance, everything else. And so this is at this particular time, because things is going to get a lot worse before it gets better, because we are ignoring the one aspect of what is necessary is that this shift that happens in the world gives us an opportunity to increase the net income of most families. We talk about this digitization of the economy because we need cash flow in. Yeah. Because if we can increase the income of the families, then we won't notice as much of the impact. But just ending and saying, we need to have a sincere conversation about food security and a real social safety net that addresses food, that addresses education, that addresses housing and everything else. Because if you are 50% of your country or more in economic crisis and below the poverty line in the Bahamas is $4,200 a year. Yeah. And so if we have that problem, we need to address it rather than talking around everything else and being distracted. We need to ask our leadership to bring solutions rather than soundbite governance.
Okay, thank you very much. Interesting comments there. Let's take a few more of these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business. Hi, good morning.
Chester?
Yes.
Yeah. The caller before, Alan, he's the best, believe me, because I was thinking about the same thing what he was thinking about. In fact, me and my sister was thinking about the same thing, because we was away about 3 weeks ago, and we went to Sam's, and it's safer to buy it in the state and bring it here, honestly. I do a lot of shopping, and for $3.99 sometimes, and I got people who eat egg. You can't even buy sausage no more like before because the prices are outrageous. And I think most Bahamians need to get together now and get their family together and start shopping away, because really it is cheaper. Honestly, I paid $8 for a huge big thing of coffee. Out here, that same coffee cost me $21 or more. $21 when I look in the store. I was like, wow, the markup is so high, So I think most Bahamians need to get together and start doing what the first caller, what I was talking about, said. Get your family together and try Help yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you very
anyway,
much.
you all have a good one.
You too. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
We're getting some reaction to that. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Great. And let me tell people who are going away, deciding to go to shop, make sure separate your items because, some are duty-free, but if you combine all together, the customer officer ain't going to pick them up. They're going to charge you duty on everything.
Wow.
So let's say you go and you buy washing powder. That's duty-free. So what you do, you separate them. Because if you combine everything that is duty on, they can charge you the duty on everything. So make sure you separate your products that are duty-free.
So you need to go with the list. You need to know
Go
what's
with
what.
the list and separate them.
Okay.
And Dwight, it is cheaper to go away. You go away, you buy a big bag of almonds. You're paying like maybe $15 over here. You're paying up to $28, $30.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes some people selling with little containers, $7. Your almonds, your walnuts, your hemp seed, your chickpeas, all of those things go away. Wait, see, look, if you have a family, get your family together, and like this gentleman said, you pay and you go. Do it that way. You will save a ton of money, Dwight.
Okay.
It's important to do that. If you can't even make it here, when you go to the wholesale, it might be a little cheaper. So combine here until you could get someone to go away to do it. But buy wholesale here, too.
All
Come
right.
together. That's the only way, Dwight,
Yeah.
that you're going to make it because the prices are outrageous. I mean, when you go peanut butter or almond butter, you could get the twin pack over there for like $9, and you pay $16 for one almond butter.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You keep listening to this, though. We got some people who are like, they don't know. They don't know. This one says here, everyone likes to do that bulk shopping thing until they realize that this doesn't make any sense. Ticket, car, hotel, shipping, customs, VAT, insurance, and you have to come up with your own lump sum. Then you're an asshole and you can't pay your other bills because you bought 3 months worth of food and spent all your money.
That's funny.
Boy. They go on to say that the ocean can sustain us, but we allow too much export of our seafood, which drives the local cost too high. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the previous caller had said just one person go and do all of it, but I think if you're going to buy all that, you might need a second hand or a couple hands, right? That's a lot. We're getting a lot more of your messages. Someone says here, when prices go up in this country, the businesses, I guess when it goes down, when the prices do go down, the businesses here never lower them. They just keep the savings as their profit. I know what you're saying. For the most part, it does seem that way. Sometimes you'll see a couple cents drop if it's advertised a lot that the duty went down. But, yeah. Once the price is up, it seems like that's where it's going to stay, unfortunately. Another person here, shopping in bulk in the USA is better and longer lasting if payments start buying in this fashion. Long-lasting groceries for households from the mayor of Grand Bahama. Okay. Mm-hmm.
They are the experts at shopping away.
Grand Bahamians, yeah.
Grand Bahamians.
Yeah. This person says here, culturally, we must cook in our homes all our meals, grow vegetables and fruits in our own yards or in pots, stop eating out and pack meals when going to work or school, allow outdoor socializing to be a special occasion. Neighborhoods can start neighborhood gardens where all can participate and benefit. Start where you can and improve on it. Interesting, yeah. Another caller was correct. When buying from retail stores, why buy from retail stores when you can buy from the same suppliers they buy from and then sell it to us? Families must get together and buy in bulk now because the stores here will utilize a business model that emphasizes a profit margin that they will not adjust for consumers ever. And another one, shopping away might be good. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. All right. Shopping away might be good, but plane ticket, hotel, car, customs shipping, it'll all add up. You might as well shop here. That's another one saying that. Yeah.
I mean, but you don't necessarily have to go away to shop in the States anymore.
You order
There
it.
are services that'll, you can order the thing, they'll send it to wherever you need to ship it from, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. What was that? Bob's your uncle? Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi.
Yeah, hey, Dwight. That last text about growing the food is correct. I'm working in conjunction with a friend of mine. We're sending a bunch of fruit trees, Cat Island, for a while now, like I'm going on 2 years. I have avocados, he has some sweet pepper, and potatoes, and coconuts, and sugar apples, and dilly, et cetera, trying to get things on the go, right? And so, but it really is an integral part of being independent, right? So because when you look at the supply chain construct, I'll just draw in on, like, made a reference about a can of mackerel went up from $1.68 to $2.58, right? But the main chain foods has it for $1.85. So I was trying to find out, why is this disparity? Where is the private government, since the pandemic, has decided to just let retailers do what they want to do, man? And so, yeah, man, it's frightening, right? So let me give you an example as far as the shipping, with the text is mentioning. I was looking at some books I wanted to read. The book, it was Tavistock and Socialization of the Masses, right? That's the name of the book. And so the book cost about $17, right, Chester? And when I included all the other stuff like shipping and all that, it was like $80. I'm telling you, I saw this on the internet. Yeah, so these things in mind. So we must move toward, we must make an impetus towards being self-sufficient and in the farming industry, because it's going to be like a census paradigm. And it was a almond tree growing up on the side of the yard, but by the shop, and I was going to cut it down, but I said, never mind. I have to keep it, along with all the coconut trees. This is the almond trees. These are the things that you have to realize. See, because nobody knows what the future holds. Because we have all been trained to put on our coat suits and walk downtown with a briefcase and forget about farming, which is the staff of life. Hence, we will eat coat suit. The wigs, the lawyers wear the gold chain, the Jordan 10s. These are things we have to eat when there's no food, right? Because food is the staff of life, despite all of the other little supplementary activities that we need. And also, we must get out of this. I hate to see that they're actually winning this fear of this socialization and the outdoor transmission dynamics through the lack of ignorance. One of the things I was always dubious about, Dwight, and I'm telling you, which I know is pure BS, is this asymptomatic super spreader on the outdoors. This is not working for me. It's really disinformation at its best. That's why the people in Denmark dropped their protocols. When you listen to the epidemiologist or the immunologist from Denmark, she said if you're asymptomatic, you don't need to quarantine. They know on their own website, the CDC website shows that if you're asymptomatic, you're 85% unlikely to spread the virus. You're not coughing, you're not sneezing, you're not having runny nose. Those are transmission mechanisms that the virus uses with the host. They've been living with hosts for millions of years. They know our systems better than we know. They was trying to control viruses for over 150 years. They can't. They have to control people. Have a good day, man.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Let's take that other call, and then we're going to take the break, and then we'll get back to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And Chester. The guy is right. When you shop in Miami, separate the duty free from the charge items. You'll be less time, and you will know what is duty free and what is. But how do you get that list? And Dwight, from 2011. I paid $100 for a pallet from G&G Shipping. But from the Newport deal, pallets cost $350. You done lose right there. And you remember ACL, $149 for whole pallet. So from the new shipping, that was a Newport deal, on the profit, pallets gone up. So we done lost. But shopping in blood, like my favorite store is Costco. I love Costco. But I could buy in bulk there, and you could order it, and somebody go and get it. I mean, if you want to do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I love Costco. Costco is the cheapest wholesaler to me.
Yeah. All right. Great advice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, we're getting some great text messages. We'll get to those in a bit, and we want to talk more, Chester, when we get back about fuel prices. Is that just the answer? Sit back and wait for the prices to go down, or can we do something about that? We'll talk about it after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
So I'm gonna make make sure everybody eats. I got bills. All these bills piling up on my desk, they looking like a mouth. All these little kids running around, I can hear their stomachs growl. It's a full moon out, and my girl just threw her house. Said she gon' leave me if I don't come home with 50,000. Goddamn, 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 goddamn. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Goddamn, oh man, goddamn, oh man.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Follow a look at the traffic flow this morning. A tremendous improvement in our southwest gateways, where the traffic line on Gladstone Road has shortened substantially, and the same thing for Samalapala Highway. They've worked it out, and the traffic has moved out of that area significantly. Have a lengthy traffic line on Carmichael Road leading out to Blue Hill Road, but that is moving as well, and Blue Hill Road is not as crowded. So you get a stop and go situation on Blue Hill Road that really slows on top of the hill getting into Tony's $1 million roundabout. And the reason that's still slow, from West Lane and both the East Lane, they've been loaded within the last hour. Really challenging to get through the roundabouts on either end. And in the final moments of the traffic watch this morning, Soldier Road passing the Abundant Life area has been extremely busy. You still got lengthy traffic lines on Marathon Road leading up there onto Wolf Road. Wolf Road is now a much slower ride with consistent traffic moving back and forth up there. That Wolf, Village, Vernon, and Soldier Road intersection still very busy. The lengthy traffic line on Soldier Road side and lengthy traffic line on the Vernon Road side especially. And the Eastern Road traffic is really slow still getting out of there. Lengthy traffic line from as far back as the Fox Hill Road intersection. Still challenging for that traffic to get out and eventually onto Shirley Street. But the consistent flow is causing Shirley Street to have a busy ride all the way into downtown. And West Bay Street, relatively easy ride. Slow in some spots because of traffic, but relatively easy ride to get into the downtown area. And the six-leg roundabout has its challenges, but that's working pretty good now too. So we've had a mad dash of a lot of the thoroughfares in the last hour, but it's gradually calming down now. This National Traffic Report is a service of Dr. Daddy Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle International, who's offering the simplest and safest treatment for foot injuries. They're located at Dean Center, top of the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. With your Riders Guide, look at traffic in real time. I'm VANN.
Was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Start the year making all the right money moves. Budgeting and saving? Yes. Investing? Check. But what if you could do more? With an RF brokerage account, you can get priority access to local investment opportunities right as they come to the market. Never miss a bond or new share offering again. Plus, you can house all your investments in one place and benefit from expert investment advice. Contact us at brokerage@rfgroup.com to start doing more today. Some conditions apply. RF, money at work.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients best to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, and the University of the Bahamas Northern Campus have signed a technical agreement for the bank to provide a $500 million grant to fund the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, which is aimed at stimulating micro, small, and medium-sized business ownership. According to UB President Dr. Rodney Smith, UB as a national institution must be open to engaging in meaningful discussions and partnerships with international agencies that help further the mission of the university by focusing efforts on obtaining national development goals. UB North President Dr. Ian Strachan saying the technical cooperation be intended to spark innovation and entrepreneurship in Grand Bahama constitutes a combined $1 million commitment by the institutions over the next 2 years to train, coach, and inspire citizens. Read more on the story in today's Guardian Business section. A Jamaica-based private equity firm has taken a 26% stake in Bahamian handmade soap and candle company My Ocean as the company looks to expand its manufacturing and retail footprint as well as its staffing. The deal between First Rock Private Equity Limited and My Ocean, brokered by the Bahamas-based company Simplified Lending. The equity position taken by First Rock has already been approved by local regulators and represents a first for funding leader and innovation capital raiser for a local manufacturer retailer with a growing footprint. My Ocean founder Tanya Clonarez says that First Rock's capital injection will allow her to grow the company into a premier exporter of handmade Bahamian goods. Overseas, the European Union announcing a $48 billion plan today to become a major microchip producer to help to curb its dependency on Asian markets for the component that powers everything from cars to hospital ventilators and game consoles. At a time when natural gas shortages and reliance on Russia for energy shows the political risks of economic dependency, the 27-nation bloc is moving in the critical semiconductor sector with its CHIPS Act. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen saying that chips are at the center of the global technological race and that they are also the bedrock of modern economies. The EU move mirrors U.S. President Joe Biden's $52 billion push to invest in a national chip-producing sector to make sure more production occurs in the United States. As the economy has bounced back from the COVID pandemic over the past year, there's been a supply chain bottleneck for semiconductors. In Europe, some consumers have had to wait up to almost a year to get a car because of a lack of spare parts. And BP PLC reporting its biggest full-year profit for 8 years today. Its coffers boosted by soaring oil and gas prices that have hiked domestic fuel bills for millions of people. The British energy giant saying its underlying replacement cost profit, the industry standard, was $12.8 billion for 2021 compared with losses of $5.7 billion the previous year. The figure includes a better-than-expected $4.07 billion profit in the final quarter. The company says it would reward shareholders with $1.5 billion share buyback programs before its first quarter in 2022 this year. Results and a dividend payment of 5.46 cents a share for the fourth quarter. BP has rebounded from a 2020 slump caused when the coronavirus pandemic shuttered large chunks of the global economy. Oil and gas prices have since surged, with prices driven upward by reopening economies and concern over gas supplies amid tensions over Russia's military buildup with Ukraine. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Monday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 100 shares, closing unchanged at 530. Bank of the Bahamas moving 2,231. Bahamas Waste moving 1,000, up 25 cents to 9.50. Bahamas Property Fund moving 2,000, up 5 cents to $6.05. Consolidated Water closing at 198, unchanged. Emira Incorporated unchanged at 1160. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,248.46, up 53.44. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. I'm talking with Chester Robarts, my Wednesday co-host, who's here as a senior business reporter for the Nassau Guardian, talking about these warnings from retailers that food prices are going up even higher, gas prices likely to go higher, and that we've got to brace ourselves and that there's not much we can do. We are talking about it, whether that's true. People are giving their ideas, sharing the ideas. I want to hear from Chester about whether we just have to sit back and take the high gas prices. We'll get to that in a second. But let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Good morning again, Dwight.
Hi.
Another thing I wanted to say, too, the couple of people who call or text say that with the custom duty, that's why you plan. You get your family, you plan, you pay all your bills that you have. People go and they soon, they go away and they shop. So they plan for the custom duty in the hotel rooms. So when they come back, all your bills and everything, because it's a plan effect that you put your money aside. You get your ASU and everything. And one more thing, you could get a case of the water for $2 for $40. You come over here, you're paying $14. Last time I went, people bring back so much water, and guess what they do? They sell them for $1.
Wow.
Think about it, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies buy bulk, so they even get it cheaper. So why the price have to go so high? Why?
Yeah.
$2 for a case of 40 case of water, $2.50. Sometimes you might find it for $3.
Very
Over
serious.
here, you're paying $14, $12. The companies buy in bulk, so their price will be less than yours.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important. So you come together as a family, plan, and I can say this again: separate your duty products, put them aside, buy them separately. And then when you come, the customs ain't going to charge you duty on them. But if you mix everything together, you can get hit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Good advice there. And someone was asking me to get that list. I mean, they have it. If you Google it, it comes up. It's not a full list. That may be harder to come by. But if you search out, frequently imported items, and put the year in. Let's say this is my most recent one. Frequently imported items, Bahamas 2020. Google that and a list comes up, or the most recent list. And you can go by that. And it'll tell you what's duty free there. But this is a very interesting position here, Chester. This person says, we need to support our own businesses, not those away. Otherwise, our economy will plummet. I think we lost enough business during COVID. Now we need to support our own. What do you say to that? I mean, these businesses, yes, the markup is high, but they're also employing Bahamians. They're keeping people working so they can save up and go away. Go and buy things. Should we look at it in that way? That yes, you're paying a little bit more, but you're also helping to feed other Bahamians and helping to keep the economy going so that we can all enjoy the country. Is that the way to look at it?
That's absolutely always something we have to look at. And I don't ever think about buying away for some reason. To me, it's a hassle. I like what, and I think Ms. Simon had said it yesterday as well. I didn't put it in my story, but she did suggest that families get together, pool their money, buy in bulk. And that's why she talked about planning. Planning and budgeting is important in this day and age.
But she meant buying locally in bulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, obviously, she's saying, buy from the local retailers.
Right.
But also, again, there's a farmer's market on Gladstone Road where you can go and buy stuff. Really good quality stuff that's made locally, that's fresh. There are options. This isn't. This is time to get creative. It's not time to get scared.
Okay. We'll get to the text messages and the caller in just a bit, but in the story that we read about the gas prices, the vice president of the Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association saying that there's nothing you can do. Brace yourself. Just wait for the prices to go down as they will. But is that right? Is that all that you can do?
No.
Or can we do what you did? I didn't know you want to talk about your business on the air. No, it's very expensive, but that is an option. And you have said that you're noticing you bought an electric vehicle. You've noticed that your electricity bill has not increased all that much as a result of that. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. And if BPL continues with its fuel hedging, their prices won't increase too much. And you might be able to get away, but everybody can't do what I did, but we're afraid in this country for some reason to, and in some cases I understand, but to walk. We're afraid to ride. Yeah. We're afraid to
as in a bike,
these
you
alternative.
mean?
Yeah, the bike ride.
Well, it's kind of scary out there. I don't blame people for the bike riding thing.
I get it. Like sometimes I ride to certain places. But you ask, what's the government going to do? What can the government do? Well, the government could nominate bike lanes in areas. They could improve sidewalks. I'm not talking about building sidewalks to give people jobs, but improve sidewalks, make them more useful.
Yes, all those are great ideas. The government could also take VAT off gas and diesel.
Oh, yeah.
They could do that. They really could. So the government can do some stuff. And they need to not pretend like they can't.
The government's dug such a fiscal hole for itself that's worrisome if they did that.
Okay.
And
well, they're still getting an additional tax on gasoline and diesel. So, okay, sure. I hear you. Let's squeeze this call in really quickly, caller. You're on the air.
Seattle again. There's we pay pretty money for a portal that gives you every single customs duty listed. I know the website is kind of long, so can I just give a number they can send? On WhatsApp I can send them the link. 825-97.
What just happened? Did you get cut off, Seattle? Oh, nobody wants you to share that information. Well, okay, send it to me. Send me the link, and I'll post it onto our Facebook page and Twitter. Okay, Seattle? I don't know what happened. Is he gone? Okay. Well, we got to go. Let me read this really quickly. Someone says here, well, we need to buy more generic brands. Not everybody needs to purchase the high, expensive brand. Shop smarter. Some complaint. Yep.
If you'd like.
And this one says here, I buy from wholesalers in Nassau for perishable items such as hand towels, toilet, or do they mean non-perishable? Okay. Toilet paper, and it serves the same purpose. Lasts for months and less expensive. Okay. All right, great stuff. Someone says it's too hot to walk, Chester. Well, all right. Well, we need to have more conversations like this. Chester Robards, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, and we're going to talk with you again tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. I know you're very excited about that. Thank you, sir. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. I'll get that information from C. Allen, and I'll post that on our Facebook page and Twitter, so follow us for that. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next. Have a great day, everybody.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.